This conference will now be recorded.
I sent Max an email. He said he'll come to our next meeting. He'll let us know when.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right, I'd like to call the Madison County Board of Supervisors Agenda Budget Work Session #1 meeting to order. Where is my order? So, could we, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Mr. Jewett is under the weather today, so he's going to participate virtually. So if you would, Judd, we have a motion to that effect.
I, Judd Buchanan, hereby move to permit Vice Chairman Jewett to attend the February 12th, 2026 budget work session of the Madison County Board of Supervisors remotely pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3708.3 and Section 2.4.f of the bylaws of the Madison County. Vice Chairman Jewett is unable to attend the budget work session currently scheduled for February 12th, 2026 in person due to illness. This is the first meeting Vice Chairman Jewett will attend remotely this calendar year.
All right, we have a motion. Can we get a second? All right, we have a motion and a second to allow Mr. Jewett to attend remotely. All in further discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. You with us, Jim?
I am, thank you.
Okay, you can hear all of us already? Okay.
I can.
All right. All right, well, then let the record show that we do have a quorum. So the next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda as presented?
No, sir.
Anything? Anything from anybody? All right. Entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right. Public comment. I usually remember this at the beginning. So if I get some help at the end, I would appreciate it. Is there any public comment? All right. Nothing on that. Okay, very well. We'll close public comment, and I promise we'll do it again at the end. Just don't y'all let me forget. Okay, so this is the FY27 first budget workshop, and so we have guests with us today. We have Central Virginia Partnership for Economic Development with Helen Cawthon and Katie Delaney. So please step to the mic and identify yourself and
Awesome, thank you. Great, this is on, I don't have to do anything. Hi, I'm Catherine Delaney. I'm the Talent Director at Central Virginia Partnership for Economic Development. I'm joined by our President, Helen Cawthon, and I appreciate this opportunity to address you today. I first of all just want to thank you, Board, for your support of Central Virginia Partnership, or CVPED. We are very glad to have Madison County as a member of our partnership and are delighted to have Jonathan Weekly as on our board and Tracy Gardner as a member of our Economic Development Partners team. CVPED is a not-for-profit that serves as the regional economic development organization for Madison County, 7 other counties, and the city of Charlottesville. We are a collaboration of public and private entities to pursue common goals, and local economic development, success depends on regional economic development success, particularly when it comes to providing quality jobs, good paying jobs for the residents of our region, and that certainly includes Madison County. So I'm here today to say thank you and also to explain some of the things we're doing to benefit Madison County. One outcome to highlight is that we continue to support the $224,000 Go Virginia Wine Implementation Grant. The purpose of this grant is to promote Virginia wines and to help increase sales and recognition outside the Commonwealth. Françoise Saye-Musewicz has been very involved in this grant of Revelation Vineyards, and she has been a close partner on the grant and an active driver of the implementation work. She led the preceding planning grant of $100,000. We also help Madison County and all of our jurisdictions cast a wider net to do more than you could do on your own, just because we have the regional outlook. So all of our leads from the state level, Virginia Economic Development Partnership, that come to us, we share with all of our localities, giving every county opportunity. For instance, we market existing sites in our localities. To interested businesses, we've been showing the Plow and Hearth, building with Tracy Gardner at the state level to the real estate team at VDP. So we want to see that building be back to full use. All of our marketing materials include Madison County. Our regional brochure includes a photo of Bald Top Brewing Company. We have a locality fact sheet. And then I encourage you certainly to visit centralvirginia.org and our talent website, livingcentralva.org, to take a look at how we're representing Madison County and promoting it. This morning, I received materials from the Wine Implementation Grant with their new Toast VA campaign, which is photos and video content to be added to that website to help promote the grant, and certainly Madison County is a part of that. We subscribe to databases that are expensive and make information available to all of our local economic development directors. Our ED director, Candace, will do research and analysis whenever Tracy Gardner asks to benefit Madison County. And we work with the county on site readiness. So a few years ago, we helped with the funding the match for a Go Virginia grant to expand site readiness for South Park Center. That was with our support. And then lastly, you may know that the partnership is a support organization for Go Virginia, and so we do everything possible to ensure that Madison County benefits from Go Virginia. We currently have an innovation corridor planning grant that's underway. We've presented about that grant to you all before. We had a meeting this morning actually about that planning grant that Tracy was at. So we're really thankful for her involvement, and as that grant wraps up this spring, we do anticipate there will be implementation work that will benefit the full region. And so we're actively starting to think about what that work will look like and be putting proposals together. So thank you again for your participation. Economic development really is a team sport. It takes all of us, public and private, and we're able to do all of this big work because you're part of CVPED, so thank you. This year, we are requesting an increase from 62 to 74 cents per capita for a request of $10,347 for Madison County. I'm glad, and Helen is glad, to answer any questions, and we look forward to working with you in the year ahead.
Thank you. So last year, our contribution to you all was $10,000 even.
Yes.
So it's $347, and it's based on a per capita.
Yes, a per capita. So, and that's an increase that we're asking of all localities.
Right.
That we've brought in over 2 years to gradually make the increase. But 10,000 was the what we were asking as a minimum. Yes, the base. Thank you. Last year, and so this is the first year that puts you over that base.
So how many other localities are in on this with Madison?
Total, so
9.
So 7 counties plus City of Charlottesville.
Okay. Questions?
The increase, is there costs that are going up as far as databases? I mean, why the increase this year?
I think part of it is we basically were at $10,000 minimum, and it was 50 cents per capita for
Here,
about 10
Helen,
years.
let's get, no, you
Oh, because
you can stay there. We got a mic. we
Sorry,
can pass
excuse
around.
me, I
Yeah.
know better.
That's
We
all.
were at $10,000 minimum or 50 cents per capita for about 10 years. And so over the last couple of years, the board has been talking about, which includes locality county administrators, has been talking about the need to really even for a cost of living increase, but really for us to do more services. Our plan is to use the increase for work program, not for staff and salaries, so that we're just able to do more to support you all. You're pretty lucky because you've been paying 10,000 and you've been at that amount because that was our minimum. And so really the increase isn't significant in our view for Madison County. But realize we're asking Almar, Charlottesville, Culpeper, our bigger groups to do that as well. Yeah.
So not just the increase, but what is most of this just going to advertising?
It really we do a lot of project work. So a lot of what we do is more one-on-one. So even when we go to a conference or a trade show, we're targeted who we're talking to and what we're saying to that person or that company specifically. So we do have our website and do marketing that way. We don't do much, we don't really do any print advertising. A lot of it is working with site selectors, those folks that help companies make decisions, and then working projects as we are able to get them.
What else? Anybody else? Well, I heard, to your point, Mike, that you have a real estate team.
So that's
I don't think
Virginia
I
Economic
realized that.
Development Partnership. So
Yeah.
that's at the state level. And so just so you all know, VEDP, the state level is 100% government funded. The Tracy Gardner is 100% state funded, and they're economic development partners throughout our region. Every locality has at least one person like a Tracy. And then the regional group has been around 30 years now, and we're celebrating our 30th anniversary this June. And we have been the place where the private sector plays a role. So we're a public-private organization. Half our board seats are public, 9 localities plus UVA and the community college presidents of Germanna, the new person, is just joining us, and PVCC, and then 12 private sector leaders.
Okay. So when something like the Plow and Hearth building comes up in Madison, what, Tracy contacted you all, or you all knew about it? And
Well, I think
said,
it was kind
"Here's-"
of, we heard about it. I
Yeah.
think she told us it was going, I mean, we are very confidential, so I think we knew about it before it was actually
Yeah, okay.
being marketed.
All
But
right,
we've
so-
worked very closely with her as she's worked to develop materials. We have pitched it to a number of potential companies. We have had a visit or two. I think Candace would be able to, or isn't with us today. She could answer that very specifically. But, we would like to see that building be back in full service, of course.
Okay. All right, anything else? Mr. Jewett, you got any questions for Helen or Katie?
No, sir.
All right, very well. Thank you very much. Let's see, Foothills.
Take it home.
All right, so next up, we have the Foothills Children's Advocacy Center. Ms. Sherry McKinney.
Mr.
Right.
Chairman,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Chairman, I wanted to mention that, sorry,
Where's that coming from?
that we did get a letter of support from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and I've included that in the packet as well today, so it's in here as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Sherry McKinney, and I have the privilege of being the CEO at Foothills Children's Advocacy Center. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here with you today, and Commonwealth Attorney Gilbert is going to speak in a second. But I just wanted to share a little bit about what's happening at Foothills. So when you think about a child in your community who is a victim of crime, you probably think of law enforcement, the Commonwealth, and the Department of Social Services, and that's absolutely accurate. The piece that you may not think about is Foothills. We are an integral part of that process. We are mandated, we are in the Virginia Code to be part of that process. The difference between us and our partners, who we value greatly, is that we are the only one that is not funded, fully funded. And so, we do things like have bake sales and fundraisers to try to keep things afloat. And so I'm here today to really ask you for your support. What makes Foothills unique is that we provide services that none of our partners provide. We provide forensic interviews, we provide on-site medical exams, so children who have experienced sexual abuse, severe physical abuse, human trafficking, or those who've witnessed violence in their own homes, often a homicide. Those children don't have to go to the emergency department. They can come directly to Foothills. So we provide those interviews where we're gathering that critical information about the crime that has occurred. We provide those medical exams. We provide advocacy services for the caregiver, which research shows what builds a child's resilience is a supportive caregiver. And we want your kids to be resilient. And then finally, the last service that we provide is participation in the MDT, your multidisciplinary team, which Wade has led for years, and you should know he won a state award for his service. Of all the 19 CACs in the Commonwealth, Wade won an award for leading your multidisciplinary team. So we are very grateful to be providing services and to be your partner. Last fiscal year, it cost us about $3,200 to provide these services to each child. We served 21 victims of crime that happened to be Madison County children, residents of Madison County. And we are asking for your support so we can continue to provide those critical services. Wade, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Sorry, excuse me. So Wade Gelbert, Deputy Commonwealth's Attorney. Ms. Warren mentioned that Ms. Berry sent a letter. I'm here to reinforce that support for this organization. It's hard to understate how valuable the Child Advocacy Center is to the process of responding to child abuse in our community. And I recognize, and Ms. Berry recognizes, that you all have to make some very tough decisions on where money's allocated. You all should have no hesitation knowing that the money that goes to this organization is supporting folks in the system here in Madison. They have gone through a period of transition recently within the last 2 years, and it needs to be stated that things are looking up and looking great with the Foothills Advocacy Center. She's not here, but Brianna Valentino is the program director at the Foothills CAC, and she, I think she is from the Richmond area, but is renowned in the state for being an expert in child abuse, forensic interviewing, responding to these sorts of things. And she is ours. She's partly ours here in Madison County because of what has happened at Foothills recently. The reviews from the sheriff's office have been very good. The staff that have been put in place during the transition, it's been very good. So Ms. Berry supports this. I support this. Our office does. And we know you have to make tough decisions. We recognize that, but this is a valuable component to our community's response to child abuse here in Madison. So thank you.
It's in page 138 of your PDF if you're looking for the letter of support.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thanks, Wade.
So, Ms. McKinney, you said you all served 21 children over the past, is that the past year?
In the last fiscal year. Yes,
At
sir.
how much per? About
$31.95 to be exact.
That's what it costs,
So almost
$3,100.
$3,200 per child, correct. So about $67,000.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so do you all interview the children?
Yes, sir. Brianna, Wade mentioned Brianna Valentino, who is one of the top 2 forensic interviewers in the state and has taught hundreds of people how to do forensic interviews as an expert witness. She's our program director, and she oversees all of that, conducts some of the interviews herself. So the forensic interview is a legally sound, non-leading interview that is very critical. If you think of a homicide scene, it's that for children who have been sexually abused. So it is literally where the investigation begins. It's a critical piece of the puzzle.
So Wade, don't y'all have a room at your office that?
So these are,
That's
and then I'll
set
let
up
you
for
jump
this?
in. So these are, we recently moved to an incredible facility. We're co-located with the Sexual Assault Response Organization. And I got a grant for new recording equipment that is state-of-the-art. And so we just had a conversation actually about Wade being able to zoom in to watch a forensic interview, but all of our interviews are audio and video recorded because we don't want kids to have to be re-interviewed. It's very traumatic. So all of them are interviewed. We have a really great observation room where the detectives, law enforcement, children's services, the Commonwealth, victim witness, whomever, any of our partners are welcome to come and observe live or Zoom in.
Do y'all work through DSS, or are you on your own entity, or?
We're our own nonprofit.
Okay.
DSS is absolutely a partner,
Okay.
just like the Commonwealth and the
And
sheriff.
where's your office?
It is in Charlottesville,
Okay.
right off of if you know Pantops, we're on Pantops,
Okay.
right off 64.
So, do the children come to you? And how are they transported from here where the trauma
Yeah,
happened?
Great
and
question.
How do they get to you, and how quickly?
excellent question. Most of the cases, and feel free to jump in, Wade, most of our cases are historic, which means that the typical child, when they have been sexually abused, typically they don't tell right away. It's very, very, very different than an adult. And so we call those delayed disclosures. And so a child might tell someone days or months or years later. So they're not acute. There isn't evidence to collect, physical evidence. We do have that happen on occasion, and we can do all of that at Foothills like that. Wade could call right now, and we could make that happen today. If not, we schedule it at a time that is convenient, but the child and family do come to Foothills. We recently got a grant from the Manning Foundation to provide each family who comes with a $25 gift card to help with expenses for them to get there, because we recognize that, that can be a barrier and we don't want that to be. One of our goals of our strategic plan, which we just wrapped up, which we were just talking about earlier this week or last week, was actually being able to have some type of a satellite location or a mobile unit potentially here in Madison County. That's a goal.
So I will share a story that was from a few years ago, but we had a forensic interview that was scheduled in Charlottesville, and the law enforcement investigator, the DSS worker, and myself were there along with the victim advocate, and the family had a tough time getting a ride down. And within an hour or so, Foothills had secured the transportation, got the family and the child to the site in Charlottesville, and we were able to advance the investigation. And I didn't even know they had a funding stream for that. And that was just something, they're really a problem-solving organization when it comes to that kind of stuff. We do have a child forensic interview space in our the basement of our building. It is underutilized, fair to say, but I have been to the Charlottesville facility, and it is state-of-the-art. The value of having all of the components, the medical forensic component, the child forensic interview component, and the advocacy component, which will soon, if not already has, a mental health advocate. Having that all in the same spot is completely valuable to responding to these sorts of things. If we do the interview in the basement, we don't have those support. We don't have a mental health worker. We have victim advocate, but
Right.
our capacity is limited here.
Okay, and these are never good cases. We all know that. We all understand that. But I'm wondering here if that child needs to be removed or taken from these people that just brought them down there. What is your position in that?
So the response is joint between both law enforcement, the Department of Social Services, Foothills, and any other agency that's touching that family's life. So most of the complaints of child abuse come through the Department of Social Services or law enforcement, right? So there's an allegation from a child. The protocol we have in place is that law enforcement, DSS, the Child Advocacy Center, our office coordinate together to respond to that. So it is happening simultaneously. The reason why that is the protocol is because we don't want that child to have to tell their story 4 times to 4 different people. And it is a process that is tried and true. We've been implementing it for the 10 or more years that I've been here. We are successful in doing so. And the removal of the child from that situation is DSS decision. It is the protocol and procedure for that is outlined in law, and it is done as part of that process when necessary.
And it can all be
And
done right there.
It could be, but frankly, our goal really is for that to not happen. Our goal is to be able to provide the caregiver with the support they need, and if the child is safe, we want that child to stay with their family in a safe
that's the-
environment.
yeah.
Yeah, when that isn't possible, then we take whatever actions are necessary, but our goal really is to do whatever we can to support that caregiver to be able to care for that child.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
And I know we're limited on time, but there's a new bill coming through Richmond where they might take away some of the DSS power to come in and help with these kids. They're making it more of a state position. How does that affect you all?
Oh, are you
that
referring to centralized intake?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I actually chair a committee for DSS exploring centralized intake, and that there is a bill proposing
Right.
that. And, it's very mixed reviews. There are some communities I think really would benefit from that. People who don't have the expertise and, they have 3 staff in their DSS, very rural communities that could benefit from that. And there's other communities that won't benefit maybe as much. And, we'll wait and see what happens. But I don't know that would really impact our work much. Do you, Wade?
So I'm not familiar with the details of the bill, but my understanding is that more a allocation of how the initial complaints are referred to the local agencies for investigation. I don't think it's divesting the local agency from their ability to respond in a efficient manner as they do and have done. I think it's more of
An intake process.
who is receiving them and how are they getting out the information of the complaint of child abuse.
Yeah, it just looks like it's going to expand the time frame. That if there is a dangerous situation, it might expand the time frame for that child.
Correct, and I will tell the body that most of our complaints will make their way to law enforcement before it would go through any kind of centralized, bureaucratic, Richmond-centered process. Anyway, I have not read the bill, so I'm speaking perhaps a little unintelligent in that regard. I'm not concerned about our local ability to respond efficiently to these complaints.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, what area do y'all serve?
We serve 8 localities. We serve, Charlottesville, Albemarle, Buckingham, Nelson, Madison, Greene, Orange, Flushing. And then we also provide interviews for Louisa.
Mr. Jewett,
Yes.
you got any comment on this this thing? So let me ask Ms. McKinney. So you still have a voice in this bill that is being proposed?
Oh,
You can be an advocate one way or the other?
I
We're getting off a little subject here,
I have a voice.
Okay,
Yes, I feel
a
like I have
voice.
a voice, but I am one of many voices.
So would you like to hear Madison's opinion on that at some point before
Oh,
this is?
that would
Okay.
be fantastic.
We're not going to air it right now, but.
Please, you have my business card. Please reach out. I would love that.
Mr. Jewett, you got anything on this?
No, that's the question I was going to ask about the Senate Bill 640 implications, but you answered my questions. Thank you.
All right. All right, anything further?
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, the next on the agenda, we got the jail and the juvenile detention center. I think, Ms. Warren, you're taking that one?
I am. Thank you. In the packet, excuse me, I did put a copy of the Central Virginia Regional Jail's budget estimates, and I'm going to drop down to, first of all, this section here that talks about local share, just to kind of explain how local share is calculated. So the proposed budget, first of all, for CVRJ shows no increase to the jurisdictions. They had adequate funds in their fund balance that will help be used to balance their budget without impacting contributions from the jurisdictions. But what they do each year, on the next page here, this page, I wanted to show you the jurisdiction population page. This is how they come up with the percentage that each of the Fluvanna, Greene, Louisa, Madison, and Orange pay in each year. They take the population of inmates that have come through for each of the counties, and they average it over a 3 fiscal year period. And then they have their average population, which drives the percentage allocation. As you can see, for Madison on the screen, 2022 through 2023 was 6,366 population inmates. 23 to 24 fiscal year was 9,150, and 24 to 25 was 9,391 for the 3-year population of 24,907, which with the average of 8,302 resulted in a 9.52% allocation. And as you can see, Fluvanna, Greene, Louisa, and Madison and Orange, you can see all of the percentages that are paid in by the various counties, with Orange being, Louisa looks like they're the highest at 32.68%. And then I'm just going to drop down to how, let's see if we get down to the bottom here.
So their bed days, 6,366 is.
That's their population. I guess that you would probably know better.
Bed
Bed days,
days.
thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. But I do know that it is an average. But what they do, they not only take that 9.52% of their budget to come up with, as you can see on the screen, Madison is $765,036. But there's also a true-up done every year. And the true-up to Madison is coming in at $174,722, which if you net those two, our FY27 budgeted amount is the same as last year, which I believe is 500. Let me go back to my sheet here. Yeah, let me go. I'm pulling it up now. So that's why you see on the screen for CVRJ, $590,314 with the true up. So that's taking the budgeted allocation of and putting our true up in there. So we have a flat funding for CVRJ. Did I explain that well enough, Judd, and Mr. Buchanan? Because I know you serve on the board. Okay.
So, I'm sorry, where is the true up?
Well, in the agenda packet itself, if you look on local funding here, and it's in their narrative as well.
Okay.
Fluvanna and Madison both had true-ups done, and in their explanation of local share, there's a sentence that says, there is an increase in use of fund balance of $249,828 to level fund contributions for Fluvanna and Madison, based on usage or bed days, I guess.
I guess when anything nets to zero like that from one year to the next, I would always question, okay, the expenses and their true up happen to be, just wipe it out perfectly?
And it's the same. Yeah.
I mean, do we have a net something left on the books over there that we have
Every year,
starting out in there?
yeah, the last few years, our true-ups have brought in a reduction in our contribution that's calculated, which is nice. But it was interesting to me that it's exactly the same amount. So I,
Yeah, would you? It's just
Yeah, that'd be
odd.
good.
In the past, we got checks back, right?
yeah, we just, instead of getting checks back, we take it off of our annual contribution amount. We deduct it off of what we have for the year. But they do a true-up every year.
And they've incurred some pretty major expenses with the unfreezing the positions. I think it was 11 positions.
Okay, see, I'm not a part of their budget committee, like I am the Rappahannock Juvenile Detention Center, so I can't speak to that part, but,
And right now, I think we have 21 Madison citizens there
okay.
as of last paycheck.
gotcha. So it's flat funding
Okay.
for next year. Any questions on Central Virginia Regional Jail?
Mike, Nancy. Mr. Jewett?
On how
You got
that's
any
calculated?
questions on the jail?
No, sir.
All right. Then let's
All
move
right.
on to the Juvenile Detention Center.
So I just received their approved budget 2 days ago, so I've updated the packet from when it first went out. Good news, their approved budget, we knew we were going to see a decrease in our allocation, but it came in less than than was in their draft budget. Madison, as you can see on the screen, this is all the counties. Last year, we were 3.987%. Was our share, and that's dropped down to 2.0673%. And again, that's based on the bed days, the 3-year average. So we've gone down to $168,911 is the approved portion for Madison. And last year, if I can get to, oh, here it is. Last year was $308,360, so we have a reduction in for $139,449, which is great because some years we've had a huge contribution because we've had a lot of bed days. So we're now being able to reap the harvest of not having a bunch of bed days over the last 3 average years. So
there is a possibility that we can incur an adjustment in the middle of a fiscal year, though, isn't it, or not? Do I remember one?
no, they true it up every year
And
and then
that holds.
and put it in their budget. So they've trued up the last 3, and
Right.
so we can expect to have a reduction in FY27.
So this is a solid number for this budget.
Correct. That is correct. So between the jail and the juvenile detention center combined, we're going to see a reduction in FY27 of $139,449.
I guess the better way to ask what I was trying to get to, sometimes it takes me a while, is we don't need to put in a contingency on this.
That's a good question. We have that, is it Joint Service Stabilization Reserve contingency, where we calculate a contingency of all of our joint services.
Okay.
So that's in our
That'll be coming
contingency
later.
planning. We'll talk about that later in budget workshops. We basically take what we have to pay to these joint services like the jail and the RJDC, and we put a percentage in contingency in case they run over. And the next year, we're going to have to, if we have to tap into that. So we do have a contingency for that.
The biggest thing would be medical expenses of some sort like that to an inmate.
Yeah. That's what it was, the jail thing got us.
Right.
A few years back. Yeah, okay. Questions for Ms. Warren on this?
Just real quick, maybe that true up coming out exactly to the penny is because we had to use the fund balance that they have to bring us even, because we
Yeah.
spent more.
Yeah.
There were more days. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it says in the narrative about using the fund balance for that.
And for
That
our
is
two
correct.
counties, Savannah and us. The
Yes.
other counties actually. the
They had an
population went down.
increase, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's how they calculate that.
That's why that is.
Okay.
Mr. Jewett, you got anything on this one?
No, sir.
Can you hear everybody all right?
I'm hearing everybody very well, thank you.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, well, thank you.
Jesus.
Okay, let me see, okay, next on the agenda, we've got Patrick Mauney with Rapidan Regional Commission.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Patrick Mauney. I'm the Executive Director of the Rapidan Regional Commission. We serve the counties of Madison, Culpeper, Fauquier, Orange, Rappahannock, and the 8 towns within those counties. We're a political subdivision of the Commonwealth, so we're a sort of in-between state and local government, and our key responsibility is to provide an opportunity for convening of those local governments, looking for opportunities for multi-jurisdictional partnerships, We've been around for 52 years. 1973 was our first meeting, chartered in 1971 by the counties and towns in the region. And I think what I would say in response to the prompt here that Chairman Yao provided, I think a lot of what we end up doing is serving as an extension of your local government, but also, again, looking for those opportunities for multi-jurisdictional partnerships. We find, or I've found in my time with the Regional Commission, that we're engaged with staff across departments within the county. This morning I was in a meeting with Tracy Gardner, interacted with obviously your county administrator. We had coordinated a meeting with he and his counterparts last Friday. I apologize to him on behalf of myself for not making my way over to your deputy county administrator and several of you that were down in Richmond last Thursday, meeting with the General Assembly. But we're involved in a lot of different things. And putting my notes together in preparation for this, over the last year, a couple of the things that we've taken on at the request of local governments or at the request of the state, a lot of times state agencies will say, rather than deal with 95 counties and 43 independent cities, they prefer to deal with 21 organizations, so there's 21 regional commissions. So over the last year, one of the things that we've taken on is a mandated water supply planning process, which all of the counties and towns in Virginia are required to perform. One of the changes with that mandate over the past several years was instead of giving you all at the local level the ability to do that as a single county, Department of Environmental Quality said, we'd rather deal with fewer plans to review. And so they said, we're going to do them at the regional level. The region that we're in coincides with our 5 counties, and our county governments, our board asked us to take the administrative responsibility on for that. So we've begun that process, which will go through 2029. As mentioned in the cover letter that I provided, we're also involved in hazard mitigation and resiliency planning, and so that is something that on the ground here in Madison a couple years ago resulted in stream monitors and monitoring the level of streams and rivers that flow through the county, and that's something that provides county staff the ability to see if we're having a severe rain event or other flooding issue, how quickly those streams are rising. That's one that I pass on 29 over the Robinson River every day, and it's right there on the bridge, and every time I go by it, I'm like, hey, I can actually see something that we did rather than just some of the concepts. Other pieces that we're involved in, we do a lot of partnerships with not just the local governments, but nonprofit and other service providers. One that we've begun to explore and expand over the past year is with Rappahannock Electric Cooperative. A lot of times what REC finds is that they have needs to make their utility and make their infrastructure more resilient, but a lot of the grants that might help them do that, they're not eligible to apply for, and so they've worked with us to apply for a couple different grants, looking for opportunities to, again, make their infrastructure more resilient. One of which I'll be talking with our board. We have a meeting next Wednesday, and I'll be talking with our board about an opportunity that we've identified with REC. A couple other things, transportation planning and also transportation, I guess I would say logistical support. So one of the areas that we're involved with is the Regional Transportation Collaborative and mobility management. And really where that shows up for the citizens of Madison is with volunteer transportation. So as I was walking in on the table out there, there's a brochure for Voltran. Voltran is a volunteer driver organization that we kind of provide the backbone support in terms of calls come into a mobility center for generally for the aging population and individuals with disabilities, seeking transportation to medical appointments or to other just social outings that may not be served by either they can't drive, they may not have a family member that can drive them, and given the rurality of our region does not have public transit everywhere, and so there's a lot of times where we know that is, falls back on volunteers. So we have the mobility center within our office. We take that call that comes in and then push it back out to the volunteers, including Voltran, including some other partner organizations, and have really sought over the last year, and I would say into this coming year, to expand that service in Madison. We saw a couple years ago that the Madison was a lower number than some of our other counties, and I think that was somewhat due to Voltran being getting its start in Fauquier County, and a couple of the other counties like Rappahannock and Orange having some village organizations that were providing a significant number of those rides. So we've certainly made the investment in trying to expand into Madison. And then the last thing I would sort of highlight is our work on housing. So we do a lot of work not only on homelessness response, working with the Department of Social Services. We're the lead agency for Foothills Housing Network, which is the local planning group for homelessness response. But we've also done housing studies. We've gotten grants from state agencies and provided some of that money back out to housing developers to do small projects, including the apartments on Main that Skyline Cap did a couple years ago, but also have funded projects in the town of Culpeper, Fauquier County, and the town of Warrenton, again, depending on the size and scope of what those localities want, trying to fit within the context of how they develop. And last thing I'll do is put a plug in. We have a regional housing summit upcoming on March 27th, which will be in Fauquier County. And that is going to be largely focused on current data related to the housing market, current data related to demographic changes, what we're seeing across not just the region, but also Virginia, as well as having some kind of best practices or innovative ideas on housing coming in from other areas of Virginia. Our goal there is, again, with a lot of our information and a lot of the work that we do, is to provide that information back out to you all to make the best decision that you can for your individual county, for Madison in this case. So I think in closing, trying to address what Chairman Yao asked for, we've got a small increase this year, $207, and that's based on population estimates increasing over the last 2-year period. But for the most part, we try to be engaged not only with you all, with our board members, Chairman Yao joining and your county administrator on our board, but also with your departments and working across those departments, in collaboration with them on projects that you all prioritize. I'm certainly happy to answer questions and try not to speak too fast or go over. So
Certainly. Questions from the board?
I don't have any.
Well, I can say right off, I appreciate, with the multitude of House bills and Senate bills that are in the General Assembly right now, for you all passing that along to us and keeping us abreast of what's going on. It would seem to me that the Housing Summit on the 27th of March, you're going to have a lot of amending to do to that summit if you're going to cover some of the stuff that might end up crossing the governor's desk. So I'm sure y'all will be prepared for that.
the timing of it was actually, I want to raise my hand and say it wasn't purposeful, but it actually, when we started looking at it, we said that could be very instructive, because we are going to see, as you all are aware, the multitude of bills that are coming through, but with affordability being one of the governor's primary focuses in the General Assembly as well, and housing being one of those areas where they're looking, certainly there will be things to react to and respond to at that time. And I think hopefully by that point we at least know what has passed the General Assembly, and if it's not been signed, likely will be signed by the governor, and then can start to respond appropriately. I think I would say kind of the reference to the legislative program is something that we just took over. We just put out a contract this year to have a legislative liaison in Richmond on behalf of the 5 counties and 8 towns. That was a contract previously held by Fauquier County. And what I've shared with my chair and the rest of the board is this is sort of a learning experience in terms of what information would be helpful for you all locally as we're receiving these reports weekly, or if we're getting those immediate we need to respond to these things, bills or other pieces of legislation, budget amendments moving forward. I know VACO will provide you all with those too, but this is trying not to duplicate, but also trying to make sure that if there are specific things to this region that maybe don't bubble up for VACO, that we can make the case for those and push that out. So I'm open to suggestion certainly from you, Chairman Yao, and any board member in terms of what would be helpful as we continue to have that contract moving forward.
Thank you. Well, just for the general public, since I was on the Planning Commission for a long time before the board, and RRC had helped us with the comp plan. So I've been through 2 iterations of the comp plan with their help, and over all these 16 years I've been involved with county stuff. there's rarely been a question that didn't lead us to the help with, from Rappahannock Regional Commission. So I appreciate it. And I think it's a great value to the county. Who else? Mr. Jewett?
Yes, sir.
Got any
I-
Mr. Moore?
Yeah, that's a great organization, as you just stated, they've done quite a bit for us over the years, and I think we're gonna actually need them even more in the upcoming future with all the changes that are coming down the pike.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see, where are we? I'm gonna turn the page. All right, the next on the agenda, we have the Boys and Girls Club of Central Virginia, Mr. Mike Cashman. And you got somebody with you too that's not on our agenda?
I do.
Okay.
This is Kalinda Beal. She's here from the central office in Virginia, the Boys and Girls Club. So you can direct all
Ms.
the
Beal?
really B-E-A-L. All the challenging questions could go to her.
All right.
So good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all today. I'm Mike Cashman. I'm the president of the Madison Boys and Girls Club Advisory Board. And like I said, I'm joined by Kalinda, and my wife Katie is here as well. She's a board member as well. Let me first thank this group for your generous support of the Boys and Girls Club over many, many years. Your commitment is a strong signal to Madison County that the work of the club is essential to the community. So sincerely, thank you all. I know you have all read our funding application, but please allow me to offer a brief explanation of our history of the club. In 2008, when the club first opened, we served 25 children. Now in 2026, we serve over 250 members every year and over 100 every day during the school year and 150 during the summer. We are an after-school and summer enrichment program that builds upon academic skills, health and well-being, character and leadership, and life and workforce readiness. In a nutshell, we help young people make positive choices while empowering them to reach their full potential in a safe, fun, and healthy environment. A lot has changed over the last 20 years since the club was started with just a few members. As a result of our success and the word really getting out and catching on in the community that the Boys and Girls Club is a great place to be, we had to increase our footprint. In 2011, we moved to Waverly Elementary School and expanded to the full annex just last summer. We have built a strong relationship with the school administrators and now utilize the full annex, the gym, and the cafeteria. That has really been a game changer for the club. I would also say that the club has been a game changer for the parents as well. Parents are afforded the opportunity to work full-time and feel confident that their kids are in a safe, healthy, and positive learning environment. They don't have to rush home to greet their kids at 3 o'clock, and we even have some parents who work all the way up in Warrington and Fredericksburg, and we stay open until they get here. And usually it's around 7 o'clock at night. So you may be wondering, what does it cost to be a club member? Club fees are $150 for children, that's under the age of 12, and $75 for teens. That's for the entire year. That includes the summer. That fee is set by the local Boys and Girls Club of Central Virginia. There are occasions where family members can't do that, can't make that fee, and because of generous donations within Madison County, we cover that fee. It's important to note that the average cost of one child attending the club full-time is $2,000 a year. And that's where the support from the community is really important. So you may be asking, what actually goes on at the club? Well, we focus on 4 primary priority outcomes. Academic success, which is, we consider STEM training, art education, literacy, and something we call the Power Hour, where they do homework, and then we have their peers help tutor them in homework. Then we focus on health and well-being. Our kids exercise. If you ever come to our gym and do a tour, you'll see that they're out there getting some really good exercise, both inside and outside when the weather permits. They learn about healthy eating at home and practice healthy cooking. Character and leadership in the form of the Youth of the Year program, volunteer service projects where they go into local businesses and nursing homes and help out there. And they learn about public speaking. One of the things I love telling groups that come through a tour or anybody I meet is that I was on a tour a couple of months ago, and they were doing a public speaking little demonstration. And they had the teens practice their a speech to be, they were going to run for president. How would you run for president? And I watched each one of them, there were about 10 of them, come up and explain. All of them were nervous. All of them, had a little bit of a, stutter and stammer and weren't quite sure. But they practiced it and they projected and they learned about public speaking. And then they were in an environment that helped them out, where they were coached by other older kids. And it was just a really cool example of something they may not get, but maybe once in school, if at all. So they practice those type of things. So they do that more and more and get better and better at it. Life and workforce readiness and career chats with organizations like UVA, VCU, the VCU Marching Band, Madison Ford, and the Charlottesville Airport are just a few of the opportunities they have to work out in town and work with other organizations. And then they learn about cooking and nutrition and music and various instruments and even financial literacy. I have just scratched the surface at what happens after school every day with over 100 young people in Madison County. I haven't even discussed the field trips they go on and the places they go in the summertime. I often wonder if these 100 some odd kids didn't have the club to go to, where would they go? Would they go home to an empty house? Would they go home and have a healthy snack or any snack at all? Would they go home and actually do their homework or have a tutor there to help them out? Would they go outside and do something fun and productive and run around and socialize with their friends? Or would they go home to an empty house and potentially sit there in front of the TV or in front of a screen and scroll social media? I think all of you have visited the club and have firsthand and have seen firsthand the great things happening there. The club director, Anthony Hill, is leading and training a group of enthusiastic staff members who truly enjoy and love the kids and look forward to the opportunity to enrich their community. If you want to feel good about the youth of our community, come on by again to the club and watch these staff members, these young people teaching even younger people. A lot of them are former club members. So if that doesn't speak really highly for the club, that they will go off and do whatever, some are in college, some are taking college classes, but they're coming back here to teach the young kids in our community. As our program grows and more children come through our doors, our expenses are only increasing, as you can imagine. And although private philanthropy has been relatively stable, we can't depend on it to meet our operating budget. Of importance to this group may be that starting this year, for the first time ever, we have been asked to pay a yearly rent of $15,000 for the use of Waverly Owl. So as of last July, we are paying $15,000 a year. That's a significant hit to our small budget. So finally, our ask to the board is that you continue to support the mission of the club in an even more significant way. We ask that you approve our funding proposal of $10,000. Strong county support shows a commitment to our mission and is critical to the success of our program and the future of our young men and women. For many of those young men and women will choose to stay in Madison long after their formal schooling is over. We are literally training our future leaders, community members, and Madisonians who will take our place someday. Thank you for your time, and I'm certainly open to any questions.
Thank you. Questions from the board?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I really appreciate you guys inviting us down there for that tour. That was really enlightening. That was really nice.
Great, great. Just happy to.
I think anybody that walks through there, and particularly meets Anthony, will do well.
Yeah, I agree.
I second that.
Right.
It was a
No,
great tour.
Thank you all for coming. I think all of you have been to the club, and especially 3 of you recently. So, thank you.
Yeah, so Mike, is there a mandatory study period in the evenings after the kids come over there? At some point,
There is, I'll let Kalinda speak to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Universally, everybody has Power Hour, where they do tutoring and homework. And then the other programs, STEM and art and sports and financial literacy and the other stuff, gets rotated in throughout the week, but Power Hour is every single day after school. And during the summertime, they have 20-20-20, which is 20 minutes of reading, writing, and STEM every single day during the summer months.
So there's a structure so I was there, I guess, well, Nancy and I were there, right when the kids were coming in. So some of them can be there from, 3 o'clock till 4:30, some of them can be there till 7,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But there's a structure to it every day that these
So
kids know.
By grade level, they run on different schedules so that they can rotate through the spaces. But yeah, everybody's doing everybody's getting at least the academic part every single day.
Have you all gotten any feedback from any teachers that say, this child went into Boys and Girls Club looking like this and has come out looking like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we have one, not to, to keep anonymous, we have one that has come back to work at the Boys and Girls Club, which is probably the biggest success story we have, who struggled academically and just fighting in school, struggled in so many different ways, graduated, and then came back to teach.
Mr. Jewett? Anything for Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, I think I'd like to just say that, I'm probably Anthony Hill's biggest fan. He's just really a competent, dedicated individual. I wish we could clone him.
I agree, Mr. Jewett. I'll pass that on to him. He is doing great work. He has built a great team, a good staff, and he's proof that leadership really matters.
All right. Nothing further?
Mike? So when they pay their fee, that does include their snacks, daily snacks and all that too, right?
It does.
I thought so, yeah.
But it doesn't cover it.
No, absolutely not. So 2% of yearly operating costs are covered by membership.
So
And we
I'm sorry,
even
go ahead.
send, on occasion, we'll send food home. When Anthony knows the families well enough that we discreetly send food home, especially on the weekends.
So is the Madison club completely independent as far as funding? I mean, does Central Virginia or Central Boys and Girls Club, National Boys and Girls Club, contribute anything to our program here in Madison?
They contribute the administrative
In-kind
workload,
stuff.
in-kind stuff. So we don't receive funding from them. They help. Kalinda especially helps with grant writing, and they help with our biggest fundraiser, which is the Dancing for the Stars. I mean, without their without their administrative help, we could not do it.
Right.
We're volunteers,
Right, but not dollars.
not dollars.
In kind, yeah, which is real dollars, don't get me wrong,
Right, right.
okay?
So the money that the county gives to the Boys and Girls Club, does that stay right here, or does that go back into the general fund?
Oh, it
Stays
stays
here.
here. Absolutely. Anybody who gives $1 to the Madison Boys and Girls Club, it stays right here. It goes towards supporting Madison. Absolutely.
Does the food come from a different entity? Or does Boys and Girls Club purchase the food?
I'm not sure exactly what the public school system situation is in Madison, but for all of our clubs, we get reimbursable from the USDA, the federal food programs.
Okay.
In collaboration with the school.
Mr. Chairman, just one question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, a statement, basically, but I'm gonna ask you, how, as far as, other areas, I think Madison County is, from what I've seen, and the people that give, the citizens that give to local Madison County, it's pretty impressive. Is it that way everywhere, or do you think Madison is a gem?
I mean, I don't know, is this recorded? No, I absolutely, this place is so supportive of the club, and I mean, the club is serving 10% of the school-age kids in this county, so I mean, it makes sense that, you know, everyone has a tie, a community tie to the club. But yeah, I think Madison is particularly generous and open-hearted and cares about what goes on there. Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add on to that a little bit. When you look at Orange, Orange has some significant wealth and capacity, and they're very generous. Look at Charlottesville. We can't hold a candle to the generosity and the wealth in Charlottesville. For our population and for Madison, I think we're really proud of how our community supports us with philanthropy. But I will tell you that I'm struggling with our budget right now because our philanthropy is about $60,000 lower than it should be. So we are just skimming by every year. We are just meeting our budget. And we're below budget right now with 6 months to go. That's why every bit really does count.
All right, that's it, all right, thank you all.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's see, next we have the Madison County Volunteer Fire Company. We have Ms. Gordon and Mr. Coppage.
Yes.
Welcome.
I'm Lauren Gordon. I'm the president of the Madison County Volunteer Fire Company, and this is our chief, Troy Coppage. Basically, we are the fire department for the county. Have been in operation since 1945, completely volunteer-based, and just rising costs over the years, not only for equipment that is on certain replacement schedules, just general operating costs, donations. This county is a gem, definitely, does provide us with a lot, but just the rising cost of things, and I think Chief Troy Coppage is going to kind of go into some more specifics on what that looks like.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we, just like probably everyone else has been before you, the cost of doing business is going up all the time. We ran a record number of calls last year, which 488, I believe, 488 calls last year. And the cost of apparatus has been a big deal. It's made some national news that some of the major manufacturers have had to testify before Congress for what it's worth. regarding the rising cost. A piece of apparatus that we bought in 2019, same piece is more than double since 2019. It's gone from 800,000 to about 1.6 million. So that, along with everything else, is costing more. And of all of our pieces of apparatus, we typically plan for a 20-year lifespan. Given today's market value of the 9 pieces of apparatus, it takes $277,500 a year to replace it, just the apparatus. That doesn't include any operating costs, any of our other gear, just the rolling apparatus, over $250,000 a year. So that's a lot of money. So we are, even though we had financially, we're okay, that's going to catch up with us. We've ordered a $1.5 million pumper that has about a 4-year lead time. So we want to be ready when it gets here, because by the time it gets here, we're already going to have to be thinking, well, probably will have already placed an order for another piece of apparatus, because the lead times have grown due to primarily CARES Act money funneling through all the municipalities in the United States has driven this market through the roof. And if you think about supply and demand, it's increased the prices because of that 4-year lead time. So, that being said, I'll just be glad to answer any questions or address any concerns you have. We are trying to do more fundraising. We are seeking more grants. We did receive a grant for about $90,000 from the Thompson Foundation in '25, and we are applying once again this year for some more equipment through that. We are applying for other private and public grant money. So trying to do what we can to help the taxpayers here. And as Lauren said, the community is good to us through donations. So just a fraction of what we spend comes through Madison County tax dollars. Any questions?
Yep. Questions for,
Hey, what percentage of expenditures is through grants?
Well, last year our budget was $621,000. Of that, we got the $90,000 from the Thompson grant. We got $91,000 from aid to localities money, which channels from the state through the county to us, and then $150,000 in local tax money. And the remainder came from donations, fundraisers.
Chief Coppage, I put on the screen your 1090, or not 1099, your 990, and it looks like, I don't know what year this is, but it shows contributions and grants, 429,000. I don't know if that helps answer the question.
Yeah, and that would be the total of because I don't stay up to date with what line is what on the tax form, but
line 8 there, Troy.
yeah, the grants and contributions, I guess that would include the government funding. And
Yeah.
what year is this?
This is
2024?
2020, let me go up to the
Four.
top,
Yeah,
24.
2024.
Yep.
So, like I say, the aid to localities is a fund that we get a portion that comes through the county, and then there's a minimum contribution, I think, of 15, 16 that the town gets and passes along. So that's a big source. That money goes directly to equipment purchases, because the stipulation is it has to buy, it can't be used for operational costs, it needs to purchase equipment. So that basically goes into a fund that makes truck payments. And when years we don't have a note for a truck, then it just stays in a savings account until we do. We use it exclusively for apparatus purchases.
Do you have to pay for that up front?
No. We pay, obviously, with a 4-year lead time. We're going to hopefully have as much as we can save to pay, but then we will finance.
And when's that pumper coming in?
I think they gave us an estimated 1,500 days from September, October, whenever we signed the contract.
Okay.
So about 4 years.
Yeah, just a statement. I mean, I'm the liaison to the fire department from the board, and the dedication that I see from all your volunteers, and this is volunteers, it's not paid fire department, all age ranges, and just when you walk in there, the place is spotless. The passion that they have when they're talking in the board meetings is impressive, and I think pound for pound is one of the best deals the county has going on right now. So just want to thank you for all the work you guys do and all the people that are there volunteering.
Thank you. You know, an example of that, this past Sunday, and I know Ms. Sharman was there, I don't know if some of the others may have been as well, but most of those guys wouldn't have been out of the bed at 6 o'clock to cook breakfast, but we had about 40 volunteers show up to help cook breakfast Sunday morning. Some of them don't know their way around the kitchen very well and would have been sleeping, but they were there. If you give them a task to do, they'll do it and do a good job, and you know, that's what kind of dedication we've got.
It was good food,
Thank you.
so thank you.
So, Mr. Jewett?
Yes, I just want to say, I don't think there are enough people that realize and appreciate how this department operates and what it does. And I think the citizens of the county owe this department a deep debt of gratitude, so thank you.
I got one quick question, Troy. How much does it cost to outfit a volunteer, and how long does that equipment last before you have to replace it?
The coat, helmet, pants, boots, about $5,000.
Yeah.
And after 10 years, even if it has never been used, it cannot be used it's no longer certified. So it's a 10-year lifespan on all of our gear. We've got about 40 sets of gear. So you can do the math on that, what it takes we got to replace, you know, about 4 sets a year automatically just to keep up at $5,000 a set. And that doesn't include the air pack, any of that. That's another $12,000 per air pack.
Y'all got that number rolled into your $250,000 a year?
No, that's not in the $250,000, but it's in the long-term planning, we're trying to, you know, set aside for all those replacement costs of all the things that we know have to be replaced.
Right. All right. Nothing further? Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, Virginia Career Works Piedmont Region, VCW Piedmont. We got Ms. Sarah Morton.
Good afternoon. I sent this electronically, but I also bought paper copies as well.
Okay.
Thanks. Sorry. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Sarah Morton, the Executive Director for the Regional Workforce Board here in the Piedmont region. And we are delighted to have Annette Hyde and James Jewett to serve on the board and the council for the Regional Workforce Board. For many of you who may be new, the Workforce Board, the state of Virginia has 14 of boards across the state, and we serve 11 localities. So our board serves from Nelson County to Fauquier County, and we provide workforce development, so we support businesses, employers, and our community partners. This year, I want to tell you that your return on investment, we provided over $27,500 to your citizens to get workforce development and education and training in workforce development. One of the things that we're working with Tracy Gardner and team to support your local career and technical education programs here in Madison, but also to help the vulnerable populations find socioeconomic mobility, as well as looking to skill up and train up so that we can continue to support our employers across the region. You can see some stats on page 2, what we provided to you all. I won't read everything to you, but I will highlight some key pieces here. We supported 58 residents here in Madison County, 2 of them of which were veterans, 1 of them was job placed, and we had 5 folks enrolled in the WIOA. So our funding structure comes from the Department of Labor, but every year, our workforce board, because we have a very low unemployment rate, we get cut basically $200,000 a year. So this year, given what's happening in Washington, we're looking to lose 5 programs in the next program year. youth development, migrant services, justice individuals, and a CSEP, which is your elderly, to get those folks back to work. So those are 5 programs that are looking to be cut by the federal government, which will impact our local citizens. Some of the achievements that we have obtained here, one was your $27,500 going back to your community. We serve the 58 residents here in Madison. We support MESA. So MESA, we have now integrated a food resiliency program where we support MESA in providing them with fresh proteins from local farmers that we support. We also have supported 2 businesses and extended invitations at their hiring events, and also supported the Economic Development Office by providing Madison County with coupons for their farmers markets to support people to buy fresh, buy local, and support the small business group. So the Workforce Innovation Opportunities Act is the funding that comes down from Department of Labor that supports the workforce development in our region alongside locality funding. I know you all have done level funding for us in the past, but because of these 5 programs that's being cut federally, we have asked our council to adopt the 40 cents per capita, which takes us up to asking for over $5,000 this year to help bridge the gap with some of those programs that's going to be cut in the future. We provide basic career services, individualized career services, and we also support the local career and technical education. We also provide occupational skills training, on-the-job training, career job readiness training, and adult literacy and financial literacy training for your individuals here, and additional with work-based learning opportunities for youth. We also support your local FFA and 4-H programs by supporting them at their local county fairs and supporting the local entrepreneurs. And we also have affiliate centers where we come in and work at your local libraries where we bring the services to your people. They don't necessarily need to come to us because of transportation and childcare issues. So again, this year for the FY27, we are requesting $5,592 to help bridge the gap with the federal cuts that we are looking to face in the next program year. I'll take any questions.
All right. Let's see. Questions from the board for Ms. Morton? So the programs that are likely to get cut, you all could, the plan is to keep those programs going if you can.
If we can,
if
and
you're forced to-
specifically with the SNAP cuts
Yeah.
and some of the things that the TANF and SNAP individuals are facing, many of our seniors are having to go back to work, and that CSEP is really important for our senior population, and that's a program that's slated to be cut this year. So these funds will help bridge that for some of the senior populations, but also trying to help these individuals with TANF and those SNAP dollars being cut, encouraging them to build economic mobility and to upskill and go back to work so that they're not dependent on federal government.
Okay, so if you can't bridge that gap, which ones would you cut, Ms. Morton? Or that would be a board decision?
That would be a board decision. I mean, the migrant piece is big for us, specifically in Madison County, because you all have a lot of the apple orchards here. And the migrant groups are really being impacted as well. So those migrant training programs specifically for ESL to help them with basic English proficiency, that's also looking to go away.
Okay. Yeah, Judge.
Mr. Chairman, the training, where does this happen?
So we bring the training into the community, or they can come to the workforce office in Charlottesville, Culpeper, Orange, and then we also meet at local libraries.
I got you. Okay.
What else?
Is that individual training or is that a group training?
It can be individualized or it could be group. We tailor it to the customer.
So do you come into Madison County for the training?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you have it at the library?
Library, and we work with your local schools as well. So I serve on your local CTE, Career Technical Education Advisory Board, and Lisa Taylor also serves on our board.
Okay. So I don't know how often this CTE meets.
Quarterly. Career
CTE
Technical Education meets quarterly
in our school system.
in your high school.
All right. Anything further Mr. Jewett, anything for VCW?
No questions, just want to thank Ms. Morton for her leadership on that group. It's challenging, particularly when you're chasing funding that comes and goes. Thank you, Ms. Morton.
Thank you. And we do have a diversified funding stream. So we go after local grants. We partner, we cost share positions with other divisions. So my position is actually cost shared with a school division. So I don't get any federal funding to support my role. So if I don't build relationships or partnerships, I don't get a paycheck. So my role is solely on partnership establishment. So we've looked at doing a lot of diversified funding. We also have another federal grant, which is Job Plus, which helps the people in housing communities build out economic mobility.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next, where are we time-wise? We're in good shape, aren't we? Next, we have the Virginia Regional Transit with Mr. Phil Thompson. And,
Well, actually, you don't have Mr. Thompson. He
Okay.
was unable to attend.
okay,
I'll just give these to you all, just to give you some idea of the ridership.
you want me to show you how to turn that off?
Oh, that's funny. Good afternoon, Chairman Yao and fellow board members. Thank you for letting us attend this and tell you about what Virginia Regional Transit does and helps the residents of Madison County. As I said, I am not Phil Thompson, our Director of Operations. I am Susan Newbrough. I'm our Assistant Director of Operations for Virginia Regional Transit. I'm here today with Mr. Stephen Bagley, Jr. He is our transit manager in our central region, which covers the Foothills Express, which services Madison County. Mr. Bagley is replacing, those of you that knew Mr. Mike Soha. Mr. Soha retired in December. We were sorry to see him go, but he had other things to move forward with. So we would like to thank you for letting us speak to you today. We would like to tell you about the transportation services for the residents of Madison County. The Foothills Express, as I stated, is a service of choice for individuals seeking transportation to medical appointments, employment opportunities, and meet the day-to-day needs that they have for a quality of life. Many of residents in various counties have transportation issues. A, they don't drive. B, they can't drive. C, they can't afford a car, so they are transit dependent. And that's where the Foothills Express offers them the service that can get them to these appointments. It's been in operation for almost 8 years now. And this route offers service 3 days a week. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Starts as early as 7:15 in the morning, and it travels till about 1:50 in the afternoon. It goes back at 2:20 and ends at 5:45 in the evening. The service originates at Culpeper Hospital. Okay, comes up 29, travels the 29 corridor. It includes stops at the Food Lion in Madison, the Ruckersville Walmart, and it ends in Charlottesville. So it's got a very wide length of travel area that it covers and offers opportunities for these people. It also connects to many other transit services. So we connect down to Katz. We connect to the Afton Express, which can take them even into Waynesboro, Augusta County, Stanton. And it connects in Culpeper with our services there as well. So it's kind of the connector for the people here in Madison County to get to where they need to be. We're happy to report, as I showed you, ridership totals continue to increase post-pandemic 2020. We are now in 2025 fiscal year. We are happy to report we had a ridership of 1,591 riders. And that's only 3 days a week. So that's pretty amazing ridership number for that service time frame. And the ridership continues to go on a upward trend. It speaks to the needs of transit for the people of this area and throughout the whole area. And the quality of transportation that you, Madison County, have been able to help and provide your residents. In fiscal year '24, Virginia Regional Transit received a new bus for the Foothills Express, which was very exciting. And this is an ADA passenger vehicle that can hold 20 passengers. All of our vehicles are ADA accessible because you do face that more in your senior population or your disabled population, that they need the ability to use the lifts. And it was well received by the riders. We've been pleased to continue to partner with Madison County Senior Center for a lunch day trips to Charlottesville. Currently, Mr. Bagley and his team are in plans with this organization, the Senior Center, in providing another trip this year, helping the seniors to have access outside and it's very key to us to provide that to them. We couldn't meet these needs for the residents without your support and our dedicated vehicle operators and dispatchers. These drivers meet with these people almost on on the daily basis that they serve, and that becomes their bus driver. That becomes the person that helps them get to where they need. Our dispatchers are wonderful. They take the calls every day from everybody wanting to schedule rides. The needs-based service design and unwavering support of our local match contributors, such as Madison County, is how we get here. We talk to our riders. Mr. Bagley gets on the bus and he rides the route and he talks to the people. So we're finding out what is it that they need, what is it that they're looking at. We have a rider who is an amputee, who receives regular physical therapy and adjustments to his prosthetic. He's been using the Foothills Express for many years and reports this service has been a lifeline for his success in life. We have another rider that reports they traveled from Orange to Culpeper to Charlottesville for medical appointments, and without the service, it would be a tremendous expense for them to try to get to these appointments. We have another family that says their disabled daughter uses the service each day, and they don't know how they would do it without the program. So you get a chance to see who it is you're helping out there and how much they do need this service. Transportation is a critical thing that we are facing for people that don't have the ability for their own transportation. We appreciate and trust the continued support for Madison County that you provide to Virginia Regional Transit, so we may serve the residents of Madison County with transportation access and your acceptance of our annual request. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions.
Thank you. Questions?
So
board?
I have one question. I'm just wondering, you had mentioned that this transit runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
So it doesn't run on the weekend, it doesn't.
Doesn't run on Monday, doesn't run on Friday, and
Right.
not on the weekends.
It looks like the price is right for our citizens, 50 cents each way.
Actually, it's free now.
It's free now. Oh.
Since COVID, when COVID came out, the state went through and stopped cost for that. And then Virginia Regional Transit, many transit agencies have gone on to continue the free rides. Only because with the limited funds that you were asking, 50 cents, doesn't go too much to the funding, actually. It cuts into what the state offers. So to provide that to the people that were having to scrape that 50 cents together, and some people don't realize, we would get pennies for people getting on the bus. So yes, they ride for free now.
So, Mr. Bagley, how do you determine what stops are important to your riders?
Talking with them as well as looking at how long we're going through the services. Like I said, we're going from Culpeper Hospital to Charlottesville Hospital, what we need in those areas. And as we talk with the local board as well as the citizens, then we come back into the county administrator and say, hey, you've got more requests for us to add additional stops in as the time goes on. And do they approve that? Do they not approve that? How do we meet that demand? And if we need to do surveys and things of that nature, we do those as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, so I live way in the far end of this county, and I've seen Encompass buses coming up driveways to people's houses and pick them up. So how, are y'all services overlapping there, or?
Well, Encompass creates what's called an on-demand service. And we operate on-demand services in various regions through the state. Basically, your client or your passenger will call, make a reservation, and that bus is going to go out and pick you up where you need to be, and it's going to take you where you need to be. The Foothills Express is based on a linear fixed route service. So it has a line that it goes. So you wouldn't that we're crossing. Yes, we could be crossing, but they're going further out into the county to pick people up and bring them in.
So you all are part of a mass transit system?
Yes, we are part of a public transit system. We're able to connect with the various other transit agencies that serve the areas that we meet at in Culpeper as well as in Charlottesville.
So would you all be in communication with Encompass and say, hey, bring those people to Food Lion, we take them from Food Lion to Charlottesville or whatever?
We could. We've done that in other regions. I've never seen that happen here, but it is something. We have a region in Northern Virginia that works with the Fairfax County Metro Access, and we connect. So we do that if it's approached and it's needed.
Well, I think we're going to be talking to Encompass later on, so maybe we'll see how that works. Mr. Jewett, you got anything on this?
No question, sir.
Okay.
One last quick.
Sure.
So it's a 20-person bus.
Yes.
Right? So on a typical day, how many people are we hauling? Is it a full bus? I mean, can we handle more if Encompass needs to?
I mean, we can always get a larger bus, but larger buses are there. That can be done.
Okay.
Basing it on the ridership, because you'll look at what are they doing? So we ask ourselves when we're looking at routes, where are they going and what is it that they're doing? You go grocery shopping. You're gonna go grocery shopping, you'll be done in an hour, maybe two, and you'll come back. Doctor's appointments, a little bit longer. So you can take out a good number of people around the same time in the morning. Coming back, it's gonna be staggered, because based on appointments as such.
So I'm just a little bit confused here. If they need to go to the grocery store, you're picking them up at the grocery store.
It is a little bit, the way it's running right now, yes, it is a little,
So you're not going to their house and taking them to the grocery
No,
store?
we don't have
and
that
you're not
ability.
getting them to the.
Now, what we can do, have operating a fixed route, if somebody is what they call ADA certified, which we can do that, we have an application that they complete, we can go up to 3/4 of a mile off of that fixed route to pick them up.
And how does that fit in with the doctor's appointments?
As far
Only
as.
to the hospital then? I mean, you're gonna pick them up at, say, Food Lion and take them to an appointment that they might have at the hospital, but they're not going to, you're not going to an individual doctor.
We have our base stops along the way. It would be more of, if they wanted to be picked up at a location and go to a specific doctor that wasn't in Culpeper Hospital or in Charlottesville Hospital, that would be more of an on-demand service. We're a line that picks them up and takes them to the areas. Now, we can meet in Charlottesville, we can meet in Culpeper with the on-demand buses that are down there. And then they can take them thus to the specific areas they need.
Anything further?
And somehow this schedule works.
Somehow it does.
Yeah, somehow it does.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's a matter of planning. Public transit it does require people to plan your trip. It's not gonna be like
Okay.
when you get in your car and just go.
Right.
All right. Well,
Are y'all
thank you.
501c by chance?
Yes,
You are, okay.
yes.
Anything further? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. All right, the next on the agenda, we have Aging Together with Mrs. Phipps.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for the opportunity to be here today and to speak with you. I am Ellen Phipps. I am the Executive Director of Aging Together, and I'm here today also with one of my board members representing Madison County, Miss Essie Berry. She's right here. She wasn't going to come up with me. She did. We've been very grateful for the support Madison County in past years. Our total budget is about $270,000, and we had requested $3,000. In past years, we had received $3,000, and then in the past couple of years, we've been receiving $2,000. So we are again requesting the full $3,000 level funding from those past years. So Aging Together, we help people to stay in their homes as long as possible as they age. And when we ask people, what do you see, what do you want to do, what do you hope for the future, just about everybody says they would prefer to stay in their own homes for as long as possible. And there are so many great resources in this county. We're hearing about all these fantastic programs and transportation and food resources. There's so many fantastic resources. But, the truth is that a lot of people just don't even know what exists. So Aging Together really helps to connect people to those resources. You might recall our regional resource guide, which is for older adults in our 5-county region with a special tear-out page for each county, including Madison. I did bring some copies. I left them in my car, but I'm happy to provide those. Again, we've just recently produced the 3rd edition of the resource guide. Just to let you know, too, there is about 23% of your population here in Madison County is over the age of 65. So that's a pretty big number, and that continues to grow and is going to double by like 2050. So that's an expanding demographic. We know there are about 900 veterans living here in Madison County. And so, through Aging Together, we offer cost-effective, prevention, education, wellness, support services, quality of life to reduce the burdens on a lot of the emergency and long-term care systems. So the funding that we get helps to sustain the community events and outreach and the regional directory. This past year, we actually created, people said, yeah, the regional guide is great, but not everybody wants to thumb through so many pages. And we created a specific rack card with important emergency information for older adults just in Madison County, just for Madison County. We got that card out to residents in Madison County. We have expos that are open and free for residents of Madison County as well, where we offer vaccines and healthcare screenings. And we do a lot of caregiver support and dementia awareness. We've launched a dementia-friendly initiative, educating businesses and restaurants for how to be aware and accommodating to older adults living with dementia. We connect, again, a lot of people don't know about the support groups that exist and that kind of thing. We do have a lot of partners. We are a partnership organization. We partner very closely with all the social services, Encompass, partners here. And we work very closely with them so as not to duplicate services, but to fill in gaps.
I'm fine, you're doing an excellent job.
And I'm just, yeah, I can bring some resource guides in if you'd like after, but I'm also happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions from the board?
I just have one question. I'm wondering how you partner with the Alzheimer's with hospice. Do you partner with hospice at all?
Yes, we absolutely do. Yeah, we do programs together. We do education. A lot of what we do educational events, and we'll have like hospice speaking to our constituents, and we do caregiver programs both in person, either at the senior center. We collaborate with Encompass to bring people in. We've had a couple of very successful educational events with them, and also the Alzheimer's Association as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
What else? So I could be wrong, but I made a call to you all not too long ago, and I came away with the impression, are you all under Encompass? Are you one of the programs?
No,
You're
no,
not.
we are not. I'll let Cheryl tell you all about their structures, government
later,
structure, but we're a 501c3 standalone nonprofit organization.
Well, I guess the issue that I had was preferably handled by Encompass, and I got handed off to them thinking that
Well, yes, and depending on what the call is about,
Yeah.
but a lot of times, so information and referral isn't actually one of our services that we provide because there are so many providers like Encompass and their aging service coordinators and DSS with, adult protective services. There are a lot of those in place, so we don't tend to duplicate, but still, by default, sometimes people do call us, and then we will try to connect them to the most appropriate agency to help them.
right, which is what you all do a
Yes.
lot of.
Yes, we do a lot of connecting, and,
So-
sorry.
So as an example, our EMS folks end up going to homes in Madison County and they see things that could be done that would alleviate them having to come back to that home time after time for whatever reason. So is that something, if our EMS folks come back and said, okay, they need this or whatever it is, is that something you all you could call Aging Together and you could put them in touch with whatever needs?
Absolutely, yeah,
that they-
or even, and I know EMS has done this because over the years we always provide them with those regional resource guides, and a lot of times they take those resource guides out to the homes that they're called to, and people don't even know that there's something that, anything I need, I can just look in this guide and I can call that appropriate number. And we also did work closely with the EMS here in Madison. They were, in recent years, they looked at implementing a system to be able to go a little bit above and beyond to address some of those issues that you talk about.
Paramedicine?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And we were a part of those conversations and, connecting and supporting that initiative.
All right, so you are aware of our paramedicine
Oh, yes.
program here?
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, it was our outreach coordinator, Anna Rogers, that helped to connect the Madison folks to another county that was doing a similar system to get information, to see exactly how they wanted to go with that. And I think, that's the thing about Aging Together that it's like one of those double-edged swords, because a lot of what we do is not tangible. It's like we're behind the scenes, we're connecting people, we're connecting the dots, and a lot of times we'll help to make things happen, but then we like to pass it off. For example, we were instrumental for a year in doing research for a home visitation program that was piloting in, going to pilot in Culpeper. We did all the research, and then It's Not for Aging Together to end up running that program, but we partner with Encompass and hand it off to them because they have the infrastructure to be able to do that. So it makes it hard for people to really, I think, understand and appreciate everything that we're doing because it's a lot of intangibles.
And so how many people work with you?
Three.
Three.
The three of us total.
Okay.
Yes, we're a very small organization.
And so there isn't any meal,
Nope.
taking any meals
Nope.
or anything like that?
No, but we'll connect people to all of those services because, like I said, a lot of times people don't even know what is available
Right.
in their communities. I think the hands-on piece has to do with the regional resource guide. That's a tangible thing that we produce ourselves in-house. We're looking at different ways of doing that. Educational programs, dementia support, caregiver support, and awareness. Those are some of the more tangible things people might know about. Our 5 over 65, it's changed now, you'll be glad to know. Our 5 over 65 celebration event, which actually recognizes volunteers and older adults that have made significant contributions in their communities. And then our Art of Aging, Health and Wellness Expos. Those are some of the more tangible things that we do.
So do you work with Meals on Wheels, or do you refer people to Meals on Wheels?
We do, yes. We refer people, we let people know what's available. Yes, absolutely.
How would a senior know that you exist, or how do you get the word out who you are and how they can connect with you?
Yeah, that's a really great question. We are a lot more visible than we used to be, I will say that. And a lot of it is through some of our programs and our events, like a lot of people, and that regional resource guide that we did for the first time about 6 years ago, right after I came on board, recognized that need. And so a lot of people, it's interesting though, like people will see that guide and they'll associate it with Aging Together, or they'll know about the 5 over 65, oh, that's Aging Together. But we don't really do a lot of advertising. We don't really have a budget to just, do advertising for us. But what we do is we try to promote and advertise our programs. So if we're doing like a caregiver program, we have one coming up. It's going to be done right actually in this room, so we're very grateful for that. We'll be showing a short clip of a woman who was a caregiver for her mom. And this woman who was the caregiver who created this video clip, she is now herself 82 years old. She just got married, and she's a little spitfire, and she's going to come in person here in Madison. That's the one county where she's coming in person to facilitate conversation about caregiving. So we hope that through our programs and our resource guides, that's how people hear about us.
Supervisor Snyder, their guide is also on our website.
Okay.
So, Ms. Fifth, do you all track your referrals when somebody calls in and gives you an issue and you refer it to somewhere? Do you all keep that data so you know, like, an outcome?
That's a great question. We track the number of calls, but we have been not so good at counting exactly where they go. So we know, for example, that we get about 150 calls a year, but we don't necessarily know where they all get referred to. But we just got a new database system and CRM that's going to be able to help us with that type of reporting. And that's something that our board has asked me to do as well.
That would be nice to know.
Yeah, that's
And do
great.
you all do any fee for service?
The only fee for service is our annual Dementia Education Conference that we that we host each year, and we do charge a fee for that. But we also provide scholarships for that, so anybody, and they don't have to prove anything. They just tell us they can't pay for it, and we have scholarships for that.
Mr. Jewett, you got anything on this?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Essie, you got anything?
That's right. And we are grateful that we will be using this space again for our meetings, and we'll be here next week. So we're appreciative of that.
Ms. Berry, you got anything? She just did. Okay. All right, very well.
I'm the silent partner today.
That's right.
I'll be here next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next up, we got Culpeper Soil and Water. Mr. Massey?
Yes, thank you. My name is David Massey. I'm the district manager at Culpeper Soil and Water. Thank you for the opportunity to present this afternoon. This is my first time speaking in front of the board as our longtime of 28-year former district manager retired in December. So this was my first time with the budget process for the 5 counties that we cover. Our mission is to promote the stewardship of soil and water quality and the conservation of our natural resources through education and providing technical assistance to not only the landowners of Madison County, but the other 4 counties that we cover, which are Culpeper, Rappahannock, Orange, and Greene. We've been in existence since 1939, serving landowners of our 5 counties, so we are coming up on 90 years very quickly. Our budget request for this year is $33,758.52. For reference, our annual operating budget is of last year was almost $1.6 million. The funding for Madison will be utilized for a combination of staff support as well as administrative expenses such as rent, equipment, staff educational development, travel, and general outreach to the public. Some of the benefits to the county directly are our support of the ag and forestry industry, which is not only the largest in the state, but likely largest in Madison County. So we work with farmers implementing the Agricultural Best Management Practices Program. And there's a pictograph that would be a great reference point. If you could pull that up, yep, that's great. The 2 numbers that I want to focus on would be the top second from the left, the $1.6 million. That's what we spent on agricultural best management practices in Madison County last year. And then moving over to the right, the BMP septic cost share program, we spent almost $80,000 here in Madison County on improving septic systems, doing pump outs, repairs, and installations. The sum of all the benefits comes to over $2 million based on the $30,000 investment into the district. The other 3 that I want to mention are public safety. We have 8 watershed dams here in the county, all on tributaries of Beautiful Run. They were installed in the 60s and 70s to reduce flooding, particularly on cropland. And so we do maintenance and repairs on 8 of those dams. We just received funding from the state for 3 of those projects that we're going to hopefully be starting later this year. Tying back to the septic would be the public health issue. That's a major benefit to the citizens of the county with our septic program, as long as working with Virginia Cooperative Extension on their well testing water program. And finally, education. We have a major presence in the school system, doing what's called the Meaningful Watershed Experience, where we teach children about what a watershed is, how individual impacts affect water quality, and how they can do their part to improve not only local water quality, but water quality that's going downstream to other jurisdictions.
guess if you could pull that pictograph back up. Thank you. The 1.67, as of today's date, we are up to 2.2 million on what has been approved for ag cost share, so that's about a net increase of $700,000, and we still have 4.5 months to go in our fiscal year. And then for the septic, we are at 107,000, so that's about a $27,000 increase to date from all of fiscal year 2025. So with that, I will take any questions.
So those numbers are Madison only?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow, okay.
Our total, for reference, our total agricultural cost share for the state was almost $9 million last year. So Madison received, about 23, 25% of our total for the 5 counties.
So we've still got, Mr. Graves is still the chair of
Yes, sir.
the board over there?
Yes, sir. And then
So we got-
Mr. Jewett's son, Anthony, is the other board member for
Is that
Madison.
right? Okay. So we got good representation. Yeah, Judge?
Yeah, so I'm sure Mr. Jewett will have some more to say, but what would be the one thing out of what you do up here that makes the biggest impact on our watershed here and going downstream? I mean, what would you say?
Definitely the agricultural side of what's up there. Cover crops and livestock stream exclusion.
Do you get a lot of pushback on that from our farmers that don't want it? They need that water for their livestock and they don't want to exclude them?
It's situational. Yeah, it depends. Not every farm's unique in their own way, and everybody has reasons for doing or not doing a practice. So we get both sides of the the yays and the nays. So, but with additional funding from the state in the past, increased funding from the state in the past 4 years, there's been a lot of increases in incentives. So the candy's sweeter, I guess, is the best way to put it now.
On your septic cost share, are you going in, that is a cost share for an individual that has a, so are y'all going in and doing a pump out, you helping them redo a septic field, or what's?
It just depends on what the situation is.
Okay.
Pump outs are the cheapest item that we fund, but we do inspections, repairs, fixing distribution boxes, drain lines, installing new systems where it was just a straight pipe to a creek. So it just depends on what the issue that the landowner's having.
I appreciate y'all's newsletters too.
Oh, yeah. It's a great tool, one in every mailbox of anybody that has land use in Madison County. So we have a very robust outreach program, and everybody should know who we are.
So the drain field and septic issues, is that income eligible situation where you could have somebody that would not have to pay at all, that you get the whole thing done?
It's tiered to where your lower income gets a higher percentage.
Okay.
But there is a base. No
There's a
matter-
share.
Yeah, there's a base of 50% no matter what your income level is.
Right. Anything else here? Mr. Jewett?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I just have a comment and question for Mr. Massey. The programs that are run through that are phenomenal, particularly the cover crop program. With regard to what it does for conservation, and it reduces the need for chemicals. What I would like to do is that I would like to see more farmers participate in it. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Massey, I believe there has been an uptick in the number of farmers in Madison County that are participating in that. Am I correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. The other thing, shifting gears here a little bit, and I do believe I had Anthony inquire into this, but I'm going to just double check with you. You do the septic cost share. Is there no part of that program that could be used to hook up failing septic systems into the public sewer system if it became available for clients?
Yes, that is one of the practices that we have, although it's probably the least used based on a variety of factors, most times cost. because the cost to hook up to the local sewer system far exceeds the cost share that
Right.
you can receive through the program.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, anything further from the board? Mr. Massey, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have the Department of Health, Ms. McClellan and Mr. Carr. Dr. Carr, I'm sorry, excuse me.
No worries. Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Dr. James Carr, and I'm the Health District Director for the Rappahannock Health District, which Madison County Health Department is a part of. We're proud to continue being in partnership and being the public health backbone of Madison County. The Madison County Health Department serves as the county's front line for disease prevention, environmental health protection, maternal and child health services, and emergency preparedness. While we operate within the Rappahannock-Rapidan Health District, our focus here is local, ensuring rural residents have access to essential preventative services and rapid response capability when needed. So the impact really is the investment in the health department strengthens community stability and access to essential services, particularly in our rural county. Budget we came up with is $232,684. It's a change over the fiscal 26 year budget, about 1.8%. We're kind of always considered the quiet folks. Our work is a little bit quiet, and if you hear from us, then we really definitely think that we have a situation to make sure we protect the residents of the county. We just had a new state health commissioner, which we met with recently, so his priorities are forthcoming, and they'll be shared even here with our localities present. Thank you very much. If there's any questions?
So, I'm sorry, how is our contribution calculated? Is it a per capita or?
I have with me
Yeah.
Ms. Dana McClellan, who's our business manager.
Okay,
Hi, everyone. Our match is a match rate through the cooperative agreement between localities and the health department based on a rate study by J. Lark. And currently, the match rate minus service revenue is 45%, and the state 55% for dollars we spend.
okay. So it's a calculation that I'm right. So, do you all need more help in the health department?
So, yes, we always need more help. I don't know if that's a trick question, but yes.
No, it's not a trick question.
We always need more help, and certainly with some of the federal issues that have been happening of late and how it impacts not only healthcare overall, but also public health for our states. We're seeing quite a bit of flux. We're still riding it through. We think we're going to be okay. Locally here, we could always, more horsepower, work power for environmental health services, with the on-site program and making sure that we're on the food side protecting residents with inspections and the like. Our clinical services that we provide, they're steady. Certainly, we would like to increase that if we could. And that's just kind of managing resources, our providers, our nurses, our environmental health specialists as best we can through all of our 5 counties. So yes, there's always a need for more. The work doesn't stop. Even when we close our eyes, the work is continuing to go on. So we're always prepared in a posture to help out with any emergencies. Hopefully we don't have any. I know everyone's listening to the measles reports, and trust me when I say our epidemiologists and our staff are constantly giving me updates about that, and seeing if that's going to impact any of our localities, at which point I'd be making a call and making sure I come over and visit in person. So yes, there's always a need for more. We're sustaining. It'd be nice to have more. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, that's fair enough. What else from the board? Mr. Jewett?
No questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very well.
Thank you for
Dr.
your,
Gar,
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for the continued partnership. Thank you.
Okay, all right, next on the agenda, we have Encompass Community Supports, Cheryl Reinstrom. Yeah?
Lauren Thomas, she is our Senior Director of Finance. She has requested permission to present our financial information to you. So with that.
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for inviting us down here. It's always a pleasure. I'm just going to go over our budget real quickly, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit how we arrived at our request number. And then I'm going to turn it all over to Cheryl, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about all we do for Madison in specific detail. So we have our state revenues. State revenues are about 36% of our budget from DBHDS. We have local revenues at about 12%. Fee revenues are 26%. And then we have federal revenues coming in at 7%, as well as program transfers at 17%. In our expenditures, our salary and benefits make up our largest component, and that's 56% of our budget. And then it's followed by facilities, rents, and utilities at $3.7 million, which is 8%. And then our transfer expenses is $7.8 million, or 17%. And then we have all the other categories, which are smaller. We have travel and motor pool at almost just under $1 million. So if we look at our total budget, it's $45.995 million for FY26. We are a slight decrease over the prior year at $46,412,000. And when we are talking about our local funding request for you, we have to make a match to our state funds of 10%, and then our area office and aging of 25% match, and then we allocate that out based on population for each of the localities. And that's how we came up for our request for you for this year at $263,476. That was an $8,000 increase over last year, or a 3.3% increase. And I know that was fast. But now I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl, and she can tell you all about what we do specifically in Madison.
So Encompass operates out of the 5 counties, Madison being one of them. And the best way
If you would get a little closer to the mic, so we got.
So we operate out of 5 counties, Culpeper being central, Rappahannock, Fauquier, Orange, and Madison. The best way to think of Encompass is the social safety net. We're not a service provider for everybody. We're a service provider for the most vulnerable. So in addition to being the Community Services Board, the CSB, we are also your area agency on aging. So we're in essence a dual entity. So if you look at the page for service provision, in terms of behavioral health, for Madison County, this last year we supported 37 individuals from this locality to treat mental health conditions. We had 23 of those that would be for medical services. So there might be individuals with substance use or medications that they need. We provided that counseling service and that med management. We also provided a case management for adults. There were 13 individuals from Madison. There were also 13 children that needed assistance with case management due to behavioral health issues. In total this year, we had about over 100 individuals from Madison County that used our services. In terms of intellectual and developmental disabilities, total, we had 99 citizens from Madison receive services. Now, some of those are going to be ongoing. So we had 21 adults, and then you'll see Part C and Part Infant and Toddler. That involves a lot of case management and early intervention screening. So a family has a young child, the child doesn't seem to be developing as typical, they'll often reach out to us and we'll do those initial screenings. So again, in total, we have supported 99 members of Madison with those screenings and case management supports. In terms of substance use, outpatient, we've supported 8 individuals from Madison with ongoing treatment to deal with substance use challenges. 3 of those individuals used medication treatment plans to help manage the side effects of their addictions. Nice to see, we've worked very hard to increase our access to our Boxwood Recovery Center. That's a 28-day intensive residential program for people with substance use to come in and really get intensive treatment. And so in the past year, we had 5 individuals from Madison go into the program to begin their journey towards recovery. So in total, in terms of just substance use, we supported 18 individuals from Madison County. In terms of emergency screenings, you can see we have over 50 individuals that we supported. Now, a couple years ago, Madison County was very generous and they sold us their former administrative building. We worked and renovated it. And so we actually have a full-time employee who works out of that building for crisis services. So a lot of the screenings that we were engaged in was done locally. So right now, for the past year, we had 41 contacts for folks who are in crisis in some manner that we assisted with intervention screenings and then possibly connecting them to more long-term solutions. Then we had another 13 for emergency services for children. In terms of just assessments, rapid access, that's somebody just on a Sunday afternoon, they're just struggling, be it a mental health condition, be it a substance use condition, they're in crisis, they need help. We need immediate rapid access. We did over 35 assessments for individuals from Madison County. 5 of those ultimately landed at Boxwood, our recovery location. We have screened individuals who are currently in jail, incarcerated. Again, sometimes when you're stuck in one spot, it gives you an opportunity to really rethink things and help individuals start their thoughts towards recovery. So in total, we had over 55 individuals that we have completed assessments for in the last year for folks from Madison County. Now, the AAA side, the aging services side, you can start seeing some significantly larger numbers. So just in terms of information and referrals and access, we had over 150 contacts, actually 181 from individuals, and it could be concerned family members, it could be from the individuals themselves. We have provided referral, guidance, counseling to over 180 members of Madison County. In terms of insurance counseling, we have had 52 contacts, so we have helped individuals navigate which health plan is right for them, and thereby potentially savings, and we use a certain metric to track that. It helped save individuals from Madison over $30,000. In terms of the ombudsman, if somebody's in a nursing home, possibly being mistreated, we have an employee who works in that area, and she has done over 13 screenings for individuals from Madison. Now, where it gets, for me, really telling is our senior center. We have over 50 members from Madison County that attend. We have provided over 3,659 meals delivered to their homes and through the senior centers. Then we have another program, home delivered meals, where we've had, I'm sorry, let me back it up. So meals provided through the senior center is over 3,000. So 57 members have received a warm, nutritious meal in excess of 3,000. So 3,000 meals through just the senior center. Then through our home delivered meals, we have 34 members who are participating, and they are not always the same members that attend the senior centers. We have provided over 3,600 meals for folks that have food insecurity. In terms of our ECS transportation, and I heard earlier some reference to that. So not everybody qualifies for our vehicles. They're for older adults. They're also for folks with disabilities. And so what you often will see our vehicles doing is driving to somebody's home to bring them to a senior center or to bring them to a medical appointment that maybe they have not been able to access on their own. So that's where you see a lot of those vehicles running back and forth, or they want to do a field trip somewhere. There's a group of them that have decided they want to go somewhere and have a good time, see a show. We'll coordinate that and then use our vehicles, and that's how that comes into play. So in terms of transit service, there are 50 individuals in Madison who use that, which has provided over 5,000 trips for folks that may not have been able to get out and get socialization. Volunteer programs, we have 23 members of the Madison County who actually come to the senior center or some other senior center to do volunteering. That has been able to, we attribute it to over $200,000 in savings, that if we had to pay somebody to do that, it offsets that money. So the AAA is probably, unfortunately, our best kept secret. Most people don't know. They know we do behavioral health support, but they don't realize we also do a lot of support for older adults. The last year, we've been kind of really reevaluating it and trying to look at programming, and so this next year, we're really looking to see a more robust, more lively, expansive supports offered through our senior centers. So stay tuned. I'm sure at some point we'll be inviting you to come into the senior centers and get a sense, get a chance to see what goes on, talk to some folks. Can I answer any questions for you?
Questions from the board?
So is your senior center over at Encompass in that building?
Not our white administrative building, no. It was, it's in that small little strip mall on the edge of town. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the road. Our Thrift Road building is a day program where folks come in during the day. It is also where we house outpatient services, so there might be individuals that live here that can't get up to Culpeper to our clinic. Our clinician, when it's planned, will come down, or a caseworker will come down. And then we also have a crisis member, a member of the team that works out of that particular building. And we also use it for after hours if, for people in recovery, a lot of times connection helps. And so we have a C Recovery Center, which is peer-led, individuals with lived experience. And so we'll do a lot of group meetings up there. And so we can use our technology to have folks here in Madison at our Thrift Road who could then participate virtually in those meetings.
And you have one employee there full-time?
We have one employee there full-time, and we have several others that will drop in periodically throughout the week. And we then have a day program that will use it 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay, thank you.
Mike, anything? Judd?
Important work.
Who's presenting?
So the Thrift Road property, is that just walk-in? Was that walk-in? Or
No,
you just-
especially for folks needing services such as clinicians, appointments, we have a sign on the door. We do request that you call our main number so that we can route you to the right person. We can either schedule a time for the person to come to the clinic in Culpeper, or if we have a clinician available, we can schedule an appointment down at Thrift Road.
Okay.
We don't have enough business yet, thankfully, maybe, to warrant an on-site clinician.
Mhm. Very well. Mr. Jewett, anything on Encompass?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Okay, thank you
Very
for your
well.
time.
Thank you all. All right. Now, the next on the agenda, we have the Madison County Library. Ms. Oots.
y'all. I'm Bonnie Utes. I'm the Madison County Library Director. And I don't know if you read our little package on the request form, but we had over 12,000 patrons come in and use the library last year. 12,000. That's 3 less than we actually have here in the county. We serve 1,523 students over our Head Start, the Learning Center, and the school visits, our story and program, our story hour and pause to read in the Boys and Girls Club and the summer reading. We had 1,836 attend. So it was wonderful. Our Wi-Fi usage is what blows me out of the water. I don't know if anybody knows it, but if you drive by this library, you will see cars parked, period. Day or night, they are parked out there. We had 14,219 sessions using our Wi-Fi. The state gives us a little machine and it does all the work for us, and all I do is get astounded at the numbers. A lot of that happens between 9 and 1, which tells me that some of our students don't have Wi-Fi and they're coming out to use ours. At least that's what my son would have done. Besides the obvious entertainment value, a library in a community is essential. You ask any real estate agent, and the first thing people want to know is, what's your library like? What do you have there? What do you have there? The job, research, and development is necessary. People come in on a routine basis for job searches, for resume help. I have tons of people coming in the door. Oh, I never used one of those things, but I need a resume. And it's our job to sit down and help them do that. Other than that, besides the passion I have for reading and books, which is pure love in itself, it is a necessary thing for the county to have. Now, I'm going to veer off. The amount that we've asked for is more than we've ever done before. It's more than we have ever asked for before. We got caught between a rock and a hard place. The rock being the state, which is upping our allotment. It's both good and bad. We're getting 32.5 thousand more in state aid this year than we did last year. Now, while that's wonderful, I can't use it for anything other than what the state requires. I can buy books, I can digitize, which I plan to do. My plan is to use it to digitize the genealogy and the local history. But I can't use it for salaries. I can't replace the carpet. I can't fix a bathroom. I can't replace the heating unit. It has to be used for those specific items. We just got off probation, guys. We just got off probation. We had been behind, and by we, I mean all of us. The county had we are required to meet a certain standard, a certain minimum amount. And Madison County hasn't been able to do that. We were put on probation because there were several years that we were flatlined, and we were punished for that. I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to go back there. Yes, I'm asking for the full amount, but I'm asking for more than we got last year, just a little bit. Forward movement is important in the state's eyes. And if we get forward movement, then we won't get put in a squeeze again. I don't want to see us go back there. I really don't. I know how difficult your job is. You can only slice a pie in so many slices, and then it's gone. And I do appreciate that. I know that your work that you do is as fair as you can possibly make it. So thank you. Okay? Any questions for me?
Go ahead, Judd.
Sure. So when you're on probation, does that mean the state gives you less money, or they?
No.
How does that work?
No. We were on probation until we had reached a state minimum. And until we had been, we're number 92 out of 94 public libraries in the state average. They wanted to see us make forward movements up to where we're never going to reach the median range.
Is that visitation? Is that what they measure with visitation? How many people come in?
No.
This is amount of what?
What it is the amount of funding that the county spends on each individual person per capita. And they have this formula worked out. Well, places like Loudoun County, there are hundreds of dollars per person. We are never going to be able to do that, and the state knows that. But they want us to try and meet the median. They put us all down on the list, put how much each county gives, and then we are supposed to try and reach that middle. We got stuck down here for a long time. And they put 8 of us on probation. So it wasn't just us, it was 8 other libraries in the state. And we were under the gun. If we didn't increase our county's funding, then we were going to lose our state aid. And I can't do that.
I'm sorry, you were gonna lose your what?
State aid. I mean, that literally was the threat. We had a meeting with the state and with the then Board of Supervisors and the county administrator so that they could sit down and actually hear, not just from me, but from the state themselves. So I appreciate whatever y'all can do. I really do. Is there anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how much money y'all getting from the state now?
Right.
Right now, we are getting, next year, we're getting $109,000. This year, we got 80, hang on. This year we got 76,000.
This past year.
$76,997
In 25?
in 25, 26. 26, 27, they are boosting us up to $109,571. So at 32.5.
So then, oh, go ahead.
All of these figures, if you guys go to the Library of Virginia, they have on their website, I can send you the link. In fact, I think I've sent it to you one time. I can send you the link on how you figure it out, how they figure it out, and what we have to do to come up with it. So,
Would you do that again for me, Bonnie?
sure.
Because I was gonna say, so what is the state's number? What is our number for the state?
Okay.
You know,
Okay. I will send that to you. I don't work out the formula.
right.
They work out the formula, so. Okay? Anything else?
Mr. Jewett? Wait for Mr. Jewett.
No comments, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. All right,
Thank you, my
Thank you.
guys. It is appreciated.
Thank you.
All right. There you go, guys.
all right, the next up is the Madison Learning Center. We got Miss, yeah?
There is nothing better than meeting the kids, I promise. It really is.
Yeah, that's a lot easier for me than this, so
Yeah.
pretend you're 4-year-olds and I'll do better. Chairman Yowell
Yes, ma'am.
and other board members, and the people who I know work real hard to put all this together. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening, and thank you for supporting the Madison Learning Center in the past. I am the board chair. We are a nonprofit. I do not work or receive an income from Madison Learning Center, contrary to Madison rumors. I do not own the building, and I do not receive a salary. The wonderful person who receives a salary is sitting back there, but I am a volunteer board member. I once again come before the Board of Supervisors to ask for their continuing support of Madison Learning Center. Madison Learning Center is the only fully licensed childcare in our county. The Head Start program is also licensed, just as the center is, and it's licensed by the Department of Education. However, wonderful Head Start program, they do not provide the same services we do. Mainly the 10.5 hours a day we are open, and we're open year-round. We both do early childhood education based on approved curriculum, but there is a little difference, so I can say we are the only fully licensed childcare center in the county. The center is licensed through the Virginia Department of Education with at least a yearly inspection. The licensing requirements are available online if you're interested in them. If you print them out, it's a nice thick book. I believe each day we function under 350, 400 different licensing requirements. Everything from the education levels of our staff, the required curriculum, the building requirements such as the temperature of the air and the water, as well as, quote, the depth of the resilient surface, AKA pea gravel, for the trajectory around the playground equipment. That means it has to be 6 inches deep. The center kitchen is also inspected by the Department of Health, and Madison Learning Center does have a food service license. We serve breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack, and that is all included in the child's enrollment. That is not based on whether or not they want to pay for it or can afford it. That's all part of what the enrollment is. And the center is also inspected by the fire marshal, and we have monthly fire drills. Put the babies in the cribs and roll them out, in case you're wondering how you do a fire drill with a 6-week-old. Madison Learning Center currently has 61 children enrolled. We have 15 staff right now, and that includes administration, a kitchen supervisor, and teachers, and we do also hire someone who does our cleaning.
The vital importance of Madison Learning Center is not only the early childhood education that we give, that's given on a daily basis, but also the economic effects of having a licensed child care center in our community. Talking about wanting to sell a house because of a library, that's another big question. Do you have a licensed child care center? If you want new families in this community, we need a licensed child care center in the community. If you want people to have jobs in Madison, if they have young children, the employers need child care as well as the employees. Along with the hours of available child care, Madison Learning Center is working very hard to prepare our young children to come to school ready to learn. That is our biggest goal, to get them ready to learn. It's not their ABCs, it's not just their colors, it's skills like you all exhibit tonight. You wait your turn, you're polite, you don't poke your neighbor, you're kind. Those are the skills that we work on every day with our children. So we send them to that pre-K program and kindergarten ready to learn. Madison Learning Center is funded through tuition and donations. We've gotten donations from grants, businesses, churches, numerous individuals. If I start listing them, I'll leave somebody out, but we have gotten many different grants and donations. Close to 40% of our families receive assistance for their tuition through a subsidy through the Department of Social Services. Most all of those also have a co-pay. So it's not just that they're getting money for childcare, many of them also have a co-pay. That's close to 40% of our families are getting help with tuition. And some of those families still have a hard time matching the co-pay. When funds are available, Madison Learning Center can offer assistance on an individual basis on tuition. We've gotten some funding specifically donated for scholarships, tuition assistance, whatever you want to call it. The Lions Club has given us some. We've had individuals give us some. Salvation Army, Jim Carpenter Fund have also earmarked monies for tuition assistance, and our director, Cindy, keeps track of and reports back to them how many families have received some kind of tuition assistance. And yes, before you ask the question, yes, childcare is very expensive. I cannot deny that. And we're not the only child care center in the United States that's having problems surviving because it costs so much to take care of these children. It's very labor intensive. Madison Learning Center follows the licensing requirements for staff to children requirements, such as in the infant room, it's 1 adult for 4 babies. And I'd like to meet the person who thought that was fine when you're handed 4 children who are 6.5 weeks old. We work very hard at the center to keep that closer to 1 to 3. But we definitely diligently follow those requirements, which makes this a very labor-intensive requirement. We are not part of any other corporation, and so we are totally responsible for taking care of the building and grounds. And I want to thank this person right back here who helped get us the building, that's Sherry Landry. And the wonderful part is we own our own building. The dilemma is we own our own building. When the lot is plowed, those funds come out of our budget. When the roof leaks, that comes out of our budget. When the electric and the water bills come, it comes out of our budget. Not only do we have to take care of all our staff, Madison Learning Center Incorporated is totally responsible for the maintenance of that building. It was built between 96 and 97 with 8, I believe, original HVACs when we opened 14 years ago, and I think we still have 2 left as original HVACs. Madison Learning Center is also a stop for the Madison Day event, and that's another place we get some volunteers. For the past several years, it's been delight my little old heart to drive up and see the buses from Woodbury Forest, and all these cute young men get off with many of their staff, and they will refurbish all across the front of the building. Not only have we had Woodbury young men, we've had many church members on that Madison Days also come to help us with like playground restoration, fixing cabinets inside, so we get a lot of volunteer work like that. Madison Learning Center has been providing a service to our families for almost 14 years now. In fact, I think right about this time 14 years ago, Doris Lackey, then board chair, called me because I had worked with her to start a child care center in the basement of Piedmont Episcopal Church in '93. And she said, would you be willing to sit with people and see if we can put a child care center back in the building? It had been the Children's Center of Madison, and then they wanted to put it back in. Well, I had to think hard because I'd been doing this most of my life, taking care of young children. But I let my arm be twisted and said yes, and I'm still here. But we have been operating in that building now for 14 years. And end of 2019, we came out from underneath Mesa's nonprofit umbrella and became our own nonprofit entity. So this evening, I'm asking that the Board of Supervisors again agree to support us so that the Madison Learning Center can continue to be an integral part of the care and education of Madison's children. Thank you.
All right. Questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I visited this 2 years ago, and it's amazing the staff that you have, what you do there. And now I'm on the Economic Development Committee with Jim Jewett, and this is one of the things we mention to people when we try to get them to come here and start a business and attract more people into our community, is that we have this. So it's in my mind, is very valuable. And
Well, thank you.
we need to.
I would like to extend that invitation to anybody else listening or anybody else on the board who has not been in the building. Thank you, Ms. Jarman, for coming to visit. So please come visit. A lot of people drive by it and have no idea what's in there, and I would love to share with you what's in there and what we do. So thank you.
What are the age groups that y'all?
We're licensed for 6 weeks of age through school age. Most of our children don't stay much past the age of 10 or 11, because in all honesty, they can go to Boys and Girls Club and I can't compete with free. But most of our children in the center are 5 and under.
Is your staffing up to, you've got enough staff right now, whatnot?
We're always looking for staff. If your resume is good, drop it off. We'll be glad.
Well, one of our employees was going there, was looking, and she was on the waiting line, so because of, I guess, your staffing possibly.
Ms. Stokowski over here, this is the fun part about it being the board chair. I don't have to handle that anymore. I've been there, done that. But yes, she's always taking phone calls for people wanting, and it's hard to say. The other question is, do you have a waiting list? Yes, because people are always wanting to get in. How long is it? It depends on how many people call us.
Yeah.
And it depends on the age of the child.
I do have to say that within my tour that I took, I was very impressed with the classrooms that you have, the number of children, and all the desks and everything so well organized, and each group of children have their own play area. You know, it's just that group. So I just think it's run very well, and
Well,
I
thank you.
appreciate
It was specifically designed as a child care center.
Mm-hmm. It's
And I
great.
want to keep it there.
Right.
Right?
So, Ms. Lacy, we'll see, Mr. Jewett, you got anything?
No, there's some conversations I'd like to have with you and maybe Simon and Ms. Lacy offline. I don't think it would be, right now, be appropriate for public discussion.
All right, that's
Fine.
good. So, Francis, you've got 61 enrolled. What is your maximum capacity?
The license
Well, it
reads over
depends on-
100, but quite honestly, they'd be hanging from the rafters if we put 100 children. I'd say we could take 90 children in there comfortably. And again, it depends on the age of the child, so to give you
Within ratio.
a ratio and the specific number. When the building was built back in '97, it was 25, it was 25 square feet per child was required in a classroom. The licensing requirement now is 35 square feet per child. So we can't put quite as many in each classroom as when it was built.
Yeah. All right. Nothing further. Thank you
All right,
very
thank
much.
you.
Okie dokie. We got, next on the agenda, Piedmont Regional Dental Clinic. It's Landry. And
Good-
guest.
And guest, yes. So my name's Sherry Landry. I'm here representing Piedmont Regional Dental Clinic today. And I have Carrie Clemens, who is our new director. She's been with us for about 2 months, is doing an awesome job, but I didn't quite think I'd put her in this position yet of presenting to you all. But we may have some questions for her. Thank you so much for having us here today and for the funding that you've provided to Piedmont Regional Dental Clinic and all of these other organizations. It is a tough job, as has been said before, but thank you, because you're doing a great job for the citizens of Madison County. So Piedmont Regional Dental Clinic is a nonprofit safety net dental provider. For Madison County residents, we provide free urgent care for adults. That's something we started about 1.5 years ago, I'd say, and free comprehensive care for children who are low income and uninsured. And when I said adults, I did mean low income uninsured adults. So regardless of whether the people are able to pay anything towards their care, we do ask them for $25 a visit. We provide it whether they are able to pay anything or not. We also are the largest provider of Medicaid reimbursed dental care in the region. Many dentists don't accept Medicaid because the reimbursement is very low. And if they do accept Medicaid, they'll limit the number of patients that they can take. So we get calls from all over for people who have insurance, but it's Medicaid and dentists don't want to take it. Last fiscal year, we served 468 Madison residents. That included about 50 children who were seen in the schools. We go into the schools every spring and fall and provide x-rays, exams, fluoride sealants for children whose parents have registered them for that service. If they're low income and uninsured, they don't pay. We can bill Medicaid. It's a real service for those families because they don't have to get out of work to take their kids. We're right there. And then we hope that they will come to the clinic, of course, and start a lifetime routine of getting regular dental care. This year already, just since January, we've served 118 Madison residents. So we're off to quite a start this year. Public funding, your funding is necessary because of that free service. The Medicaid alone is problematic for most practices because the margins are so low, but we work really hard to manage our programs and our services to be sure that we are able to remain sustainable with that funding and with charitable funds as well. So over the past year, we have started providing root canals, which is really important for patients because that means they can keep a tooth that would have otherwise had to be extracted. After COVID, we opened back up and only provided cleanings and fillings and extractions. We were not sustainable at that time. We needed to rebuild, which we've done very carefully, and we've thoughtfully expanded our service offerings and our free service slowly over time in a way that we can ensure will continue to be sustainable for the communities that we serve. We have 2 pediatric specialists, who are going to be coming to Piedmont Regional Dental Clinic starting this month. They're going to come each going to come 1 day a month, which will be great for those kids who have maybe more challenging behaviors or more complex issues than our general dentists can handle. We also have a dentist that's going to come in and start doing dentures, which we've never provided. And that will be great. They'll be much lower cost than our people could get anywhere else. So we're really excited about that. So what outcomes can the community expect in return? People won't have mouth pain. They won't have infection that can lead to other chronic issues and potentially even be life-threatening. They'll be able to go to work. Kids will be able to go to school. They'll be able to pay attention and learn. People will be able to get better jobs when they have a smile that isn't scary. Sometimes people come in and their smiles are, it's just awful. Their teeth are very ruined. And then when they get them fixed, it's like a whole new person. You know, it opens up all kinds of doors for people. So we will reduce emergency room visits that are unnecessary. And while that's a cost-saving measure for just the community at large in the health system, it also means better care for you and I. If we have a real emergency, the emergency room isn't going to be crowded with people with a toothache. So, I mean, the benefits are huge to this community and the people that we serve. We appreciate your support in the past, and hopefully we'll continue to receive it going forward. We are not asking for a lot of money, but what we're asking for is important because we piece the budget together.
Mr. Chairman, I just have a quick question.
Sure.
So are your dentists, are they volunteer?
I wish they were.
Oh, no, so
No,
they're
they're
not.
not. They're paid. Yeah,
Okay.
we have not, we had one dentist that was coming like once a quarter for an afternoon, and it's very hard. Since COVID, all of the free clinics, whether they're medical or dental, have had an increasingly hard time getting volunteer.
And how many, what
professionals.
area do you cover?
We will see anyone from anyone in Virginia, but we only extend our free care to Culpeper, Madison, and Orange County residents. Most of our patients are from Orange County. Culpeper's next, Madison is third. But we do get people from well over an hour away because I can't find care.
Yes, sir.
So I hate to ask, but where are you located? I don't even know where the building is.
That's okay. We're on James Madison Highway. Do you know the Tractor Supply? Yeah. Well, the medical clinic is at one end of that parking lot. We're at the other. We're a standalone building, so right in that complex.
I guess the other counties are participating as well.
Yes, absolutely. If counties aren't participating, we don't offer free service unless we get a grant, specific grant. For example, we do not offer free care for Albemarle or Charlottesville, but we've gotten a grant to provide free care for elderly from that area, so until it runs out. So we spend it down until it runs out. But if we didn't get that, there would be no free care for people from that region.
Do a lot of people know about this? I mean, because I'm just wondering if you do have, how do you get your word out that you're available?
We work with the schools, so every time we go into the schools, we meet new kids, and then hopefully they come and get, comprehensive care. We work with the Human Services, we work with the free clinics, and we do advertise. Actually, we have an advertisement on the radio. Our phone, honestly, rings off the hook every day with people looking for care. Every single day, rings. We get how far out are we scheduling for new appointments?
We're into May right now.
Not good for emergencies though, right?
No, but we maintain a list because we do, unfortunately, with our population, which oftentimes doesn't have reliable transportation or finds that they can't get out of work or something else has happened, we do have a high cancellation rate. So we keep those emergency calls, we keep a list so that we can call and get them in as soon as we can. We try to make the best of every appointment every day so that we are getting people seen and treated.
So if I'm not mistaken, Sherry, the Madison Free Clinic sends patients y'all's way, right?
Yes, they do.
And they have funding.
They do.
To come along with it, that's good, right?
It is a wonderful thing for their patients, and it's a wonderful thing for us. Of the 118 patients that we've seen so far this year from Madison,
17 of them were from the free clinic.
yeah, 17 were from the free clinic. So we love seeing their patients. They send most of them to us, but by no means is that the majority of our Madison residents.
Well, I know that through experience from my father, as a matter of fact, dental health drives all health. I mean, if your mouth is in bad shape, it doesn't take long for the rest of you to experience health issues.
That's absolutely correct.
Yep. So, Mr. Jewett, you got anything on this one?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anything else from the board? All right. Thank you.
All right,
Thanks
thank you
for
all.
coming.
Take good care of your teeth. So have a great night. Thanks
Yeah.
again.
When I was growing up in Madison, my dentist gave us candy at the end of the. Jeff Early's
He
dead.
wanted to see you back.
My mouth took care of me with soap,
That was,
because my mouth was so bad.
all right, the Virginia Cooperative Extension, Ms. Mallory.
All right, thank you. Good evening, board members. I'm Kelly Mallory. I am the Senior Extension Agent for H Youth and Unit Coordinator for the Virginia Cooperative Extension here in Madison. As many of you are familiar with, our department is a partnership between the county and Virginia Tech as part of the National Cooperative Extension System, bringing knowledge and research from the university to farmers, landowners, youth, and citizens of Madison County. Thank you for the opportunity to share with you tonight the work that our Virginia Cooperative Extension unit is doing within our local community. Our local office, we are glad that we are fully staffed with 3 agents and 1 staff member. Greg Lillard is our newest agent. He's been here just a little over a year, and his focus is agriculture. Adam Downing focuses on forestry, natural resource. I focus on youth development, and Katie Woodward manages our office. Other agents serving our unit include Claire Lillard, who works in family consumer sciences, and Ashley Appling, who works in horticulture. And there's a little snapshot of our work for the year in your packet. So volunteers enhance our program and add value. In 2025, 294 volunteers gave over 4,000 hours of service and contributed $140,000 to cooperative extension. Also in 2025, we engaged 2,308 community members directly through 90 evidence-based educational programs. Our work does address several of the county comprehensive plan goals, including land use, community design, and environment, as our agents work to educate farmers, landowners on options and opportunities to preserve and protect agriculture and natural resources. Just for example, Adam Downing, he has a woods and wildlife landowner education program next weekend at the Daniel Technology, which usually has about 100 people in attendance. And Greg Lillard has an upcoming beef producer meeting in the end of February. In addition, we work with youth audiences through school programming and 4-H club work to educate the next generation who will be stewards of our county lands. Through economic development, Extension has many resources for those currently involved in agritourism and looking to start agritourism or home-based food businesses, including our new and beginner farmer courses and food safety and home preservation training. Through recreation, Extension offers programs like Junior Camp, which combine recreation with educational opportunities for youth to learn and gain new skills. We appreciate the county's support of cooperative extension and the work we do. If you review our budget, a majority of that does go to salaries. We are in partnership with the state, and most of that's done through a reimbursement request through Virginia Tech. So, do you guys have any questions regarding budget or cooperative extension?
Questions for Ms. Mallory?
I don't have any question, but I do think the work that you do is very important. And I
Thank
do appreciate the mailers that we get on goats and sheep, and, you know, when I used to raise those things, that was important, so.
Awesome, thank
Just,
you.
you just do so much work within the community for the kids too, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that I call and get somebody on the phone every time, or I can walk upstairs and start talking to somebody.
Yes, we do pride ourselves in answering the phone, not
Yeah.
having a message system that you press 1 to get
Oh, my
somebody
goodness.
and 2 to get somebody else.
So Adam Downing's, so his program is part of this, like this funding funds Adam?
Yes,
Yeah?
he's
Thought he was
he's a
separate.
district agent, but we do have a portion of his salary.
Okay. All right. Mr. Jewett, you got anything on this one?
No, sir, just to say that they do a great job, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. Very good. Nothing else from the board? All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is public comment. Is there any public comment? All right. All right, very well. We have no closed session, so I guess I entertain a motion to adjourn. Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Jewett votes aye. Chair votes aye. We are adjourned.